You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent Austen Show.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Brent Austen Show. It may be Friday, but we don't have a foot in the parking lot yet. Going to deliver some great stuff for you guys today. Talk about a little bit of Hard Knocks, because you know how I feel about that. Brent probably not so excited about the Hard Knocks announcement, but that's all right, man. So I want to break it down. I think an interesting team in terms of who HBO selected. Darren Waller's acting crazy. I want to break that down a little bit today. I think we'll have a little bit of a Friday Fits. NBA Slam poetry. It's just Luka's world. We're all just kind of living in it right now, it seems like. And we got Nick in the noon, Nick in the daytime, Nickelodeon, whatever you want to call him, pushing all the right buttons. How you doing today, Nick? Turn the mic on, though.
All right, I'm doing.
There we go.
There we go. I can't hardly hear myself, but I'm doing pretty good. Yeah.
Nice, man. Rocking your Tennessee Ball stuff today.
As always. Come
all right,
on now.
good. Yeah.
Rumor has it that he doesn't love Nick in the daytime.
No, Nick. Be honest, then, man. Come on. It's supposed to be a team effort here, a collaborative effort.
It's okay. It can evolve. We can work on it.
Do you want
day, Nick at noon? It can evolve even through the day.
Hey, I mean, be honest, man. If you want Nick at noon, I will give you Nick at noon.
It only fits at the 12 o'clock hour.
That's true.
That's true.
It's where he really raises his game.
All right. Nicholas, then, or what? What are we going with?
Nicholas. Yeah, not Nicholas. That's only when it's not the government name.
What do you want from me,
How about
man?
nickels and dimes?
I'm nickels and dimes.
That was my nickname, actually, at one point in high school. There was a buddy of mine. We were in science class one day. Hold on, let me see if I can get the box fixed.
Kind of put Nick on the spot right away.
Well,
then. Sorry.
no, they called for me over the intercom one day, and hold on, it's hard to type and talk.
Yeah.
Oh, right? Yeah.
I like
Okay, there we go. So they
one of the best things I do.
One day, and they're like, "Hey, Nichols," and they stopped. They just called me Nichols because they mispronounced my name.
Okay.
Me and my buddy in the back of the class die laughing, and we go for the rest of the semester back and forth with the Nichols joke, and it's like, you know, the old Sonic car hop where it's got the thing on the side.
Of course, yeah, where you can
Dish
get
out
the
Nichols,
coins.
So
Yep.
that was like a joke that we had going back and forth about it. It was a whole thing for that.
Nickels
year.
could be a thing. Nickels is easy
Nichols-
to roll off
I
now.
think that was junior year.
Nichols could be a thing. I mean,
I'll
I like
take
Nick
it.
in the daytime. Whatever.
Hey, it can evolve.
Let's go and brainstorm
We
it.
can have Nick in the daytime, Nick at noon, and we hit the 1 o'clock hour. Well, by then we're
Just
done.
change it like
10
Prince, like the
o'clock
artist
is
formerly
Nichols.
known as Prince. Nick in the daytime, Nick at noon.
Well, there's another artist, but I'm not going to touch on that one that changes his names a lot.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with that one, but I got you.
But yeah,
That's over my head and under my feet,
All good,
most
man.
likely.
All good.
Here's the thing about the TV folks in our building, and Nick produces directs TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I caught this with Kim the other day. It's funny, I was thinking about it because I just was getting coffee, and then I was talking to Bob, GM Bob.
Yeah.
Just about the stream a little bit, so I got tied up. That's why I rolled in here 10 seconds late.
All good.
Even though I'm never late to this show. Like, I have this stigma around me about being late.
Okay.
And it was well earned.
Oh, yeah.
But not this show. Like, I'm here, right? I mean, I was here 9:45, and that's actually late for me.
Brent
Right?
trying to restructure a new contract, it sounds like.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows, I'm always here on time.
I'm just telling
I've never
you.
been late.
I'm just telling you, guys, I earned that, right?
Okay.
But not here.
Okay.
You're
but
closer
people
to
don't
being
forget.
late than me.
Oh, no. I mean, I've been late a couple times when we're on the road.
No, people don't forget.
No, yeah, people don't forget, man.
But that's okay. Like, I don't mind that. But what's interesting to me is like, hey, we're on the streaming network, the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Like, if you know that slate we put up to start the show starting. Hey guys, if we go 30 seconds over that starting point, it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we do not. This is not TV. We do not have to start at 10 o'clock. We really don't.
Yeah.
Now, we have to start that stream part at 10 o'clock for the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network to trigger and fire up and everything else. Like, we got to put something up there. But, I mean, we can put my cardboard cutout up there if you want.
I mean, you can literally put up the Jaguar schedule for the first 5 minutes of the show if you want to. I feel like it's always up there anyways.
We know the Jags schedule very well.
Really going on. I mean, I probably have it memorized at this point.
Look what came in. Did you bring this in today?
I did bring it in today. Yeah, and I forgot that I had a speech bubble too, so we have to put something with the marker in there.
That's right. I mean, really, that's something you probably should bring back. I mean, what happened to the whiteboard? Whiteboard was a good thing, man.
Yeah, it was fine.
That was just the first incarnation.
It was fine. Now
It's so funny on my Facebook memories and stuff. I have all these whiteboard moments from you.
Yeah, with the 1K camera that we're using back in the day too, and everything.
You can't read it.
We've really come a long way since the first of the show that we used to do.
Meanwhile, you have you have a ESPN all over your body there.
Yeah, as you can see, I tried to take a black marker and cross it out, and
did
it
you
didn't
try
work.
to do it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, didn't work because I used it on the morning show one time, but I had to put tape over it then because hey, I wasn't trying to rep ESPN when I wasn't with ESPN anymore.
Yeah, that's.
I'm petty like that.
Oh, so this was before that you did the marker thing.
Oh yeah, this wasn't today.
Okay.
No, this was a long time ago.
All right, we'll get the shot maybe potentially, and I don't think we have a camera actually in that corner. It's like the only place we don't. We have like 8 cameras.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, nice. Look at you.
That's like the signing right there.
By the way, that's actually a cool little shot.
Oh man, that's straight up Jack Nicholson, The Shining.
That's a cool shot.
Not gonna
right
hurt
there,
you.
Nick.
Just gonna bash your brains in a little bit.
That's awesome. That's great that you got that. I kind of like the shot.
There's Johnny. Yeah, man.
This place actually looks even more cool now because it looks like we're in a video arcade.
No, that looks haunting if it's just me, but okay.
Well, that's just because you're in it. I'm
Okay,
kind of looking at the basketball hoops.
He had this giant beard with this bright white smile. Yeah, that's haunting.
This is like we got the Brent basketball hoop and the Austen basketball hoop.
Yeah, true. Very true. Nice job, Nick.
Yeah, I like that, man. That was really good. Brent Martineau Austen Lane as we get it rolling. One thing on my way in today I had to do, and I'm not done yet. Are you a credit card guy? Because you didn't own one for the longest time. Did you have them now?
I have 3 of them now.
3 now.
Yeah.
You know this, Nick? Like, he did not own a credit card. When we first started the show, did you own a credit card?
No, I didn't. No, it took me like a year and a half in the show to get a credit card. So, yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
This is like deep into the 30s now, and he didn't own a credit card.
Correct.
And this wasn't for like, hey, I have really bad credit reasons.
Oh, no, I just, I didn't ever have the need for one.
So
I didn't see and now I found out that credit scores were a thing, and like, because I was paid in cash, like I'm not.
Yeah.
So that's
High roller.
That's the way I wouldn't say that, but just that's the way like my family always did it. So I figured I'd follow suit there. Now they didn't really prep me for if you want to buy a house one day, you probably need a good credit score. If you want to get a better deal on the car and interest rates, probably need a good credit score. So it was a lot to learn, but I have 3 credit cards now.
Well, so you get a credit card and it expires, right? And eventually, and you got to get a new one.
Do they really expire?
Yeah, like there'll be a date down the road that expires.
Didn't know that part.
But they tell you about it. It's coming, and then you're like, yeah, whatever. Well, then you realize you're making automatic payments on like 18 different things, and then your credit card doesn't work.
Oh,
Right.
wait, do you mean like someone stole your credit card?
No, it's just say when it expires, it's not going to go through.
Oh, gotcha.
So like,
okay.
mine I think expired, which means I needed to get a new card, which means I got the new card, no problem. But you need to put the old one, update it, in all these different places where you're getting like mine is used in Apple. Let's just say I got Apple subscriptions and like our Jags season tickets, or something like that, right? And they're taking automatic payments out. Well, today's this month's the month where everything is like, I'm getting an alert like every 2 days. An email.
Yeah.
You got to fix your credit card. You got to fix. I'm like, oh, what a pain in the butt. So anyway, that's what I was doing this morning on the way in.
Man.
And checking into.
I mean, thoughts and prayers to you, Brent, because what would you have to go into the app and just say cancel?
Well,
I feel like credit cards are pretty convenient these days.
It is. I mean, it's not hard, but you got to I don't know where they all are.
Yeah.
And the other thing is this: there's so much spam email that every time they tell you to click on something, you're apprehensive to click on something and just fix it. So therefore, you call.
Yeah.
Like I just did that. I called instead because I'm not going to just click on something. And even though it makes sense that they're asking for it right now, but I'm just a little apprehensive to click on a link, which I think everybody is. One other thing about credit cards, I've changed. Like I was thinking about this. The only time I use my wallet anymore, it seems like, is when I come in here to the station because we have like a key card. It still works, and that changed like in London for me. And you know why? Because like you got like, do you have Apple Pay? Or do you do anything like that on the phone?
No,
so you don't have, yeah, well, you have like a 2-inch phone, so it probably doesn't even do that.
Yeah, probably does, but go ahead.
Nick, are you an Apple Pay guy or whatever pay, however you pay, like your credit card on there or whatever with the phone?
No, I actually don't have the whole
No one's using Apple Pay, Brent.
A lot of
Venmo,
people do.
PayPal.
A lot of people do. I don't use Venmo or PayPal a whole lot.
What are you using? Just cash?
Cash, Apple Pay, or Raw Cash, whatever. But I don't have it all set up on my phone.
By the way,
I just
go ask 10 people at the beach this weekend if they're using Apple Pay, and 8 of them are going to say yes.
Okay. Well, I'm talking.
Now, the beach people are a little different people, so maybe not,
Sure. I'm saying out of my friends, don't use Apple
world?
Pay. I'm in my circle, in my group, it's all Venmo. Just like
okay, Venmo's fine. But
Yeah.
are you paying Venmo at like the gas station?
No, I'm using my credit card or
using
like my debit card.
So this is my point. Like when we went to
just so we're clear, but I'm sorry. Apple Pay is on your phone, so you can just like put your phone next to the reader.
reader, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I thought it was
my
a credit card.
comes up because that's what's under the Apple Pay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so your credit card is in Apple Pay, and then you can use your phone to pay with that.
Yeah, so it's like that.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like Apple's got its own separate paying system.
Nah, it's just through the phone.
Oh, no, I have my credit card. Okay, gotcha.
So you got your credit card
I have
in
it on
your
my
wallet
phone.
or whatever.
I got it. Sorry. Okay.
So anyway, I never did this. I always just paid with my. I had it on the phone once in a while, like something would pay you on the phone, or whatever. But I never really did it habitually. Mm-hmm. And then we went to London. Mm-hmm. And in London, we used the whatever the train is, a bunch, subway system, whatever it is. And so, but it was so easy to just boom, 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 right, every single time instead of taking out or sliding the card in. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. In 1 week, it turned into a habit for me. And so now I never take my wallet out. Now, unless I have to. Unless, sometimes that reader thing doesn't work.
Yeah.
But now I go to Publix. Now I go to the gas station. Now I go anywhere, and I'm just, you got Apple Pay? I was probably late to the game to use my phone in that respect anyway. Mm-hmm. And now I use it like all the time. It's amazing how a habit could be formed in like a week's time.
Yeah. See, like, I appreciate that, like the fact that the convenience part. But you're also talking to somebody who's 36 years old, who's also an adult, who decided to get an Amex just because the way that it looked and it felt. Because one of my friends had an Amex, and I'm like, oh, let me see that one. And I'm like, ooh, it's like metal. It's like tin. So I'm like, oh, yeah, go and give me one of these cards. So I signed up for it. Obviously, I was accepted. Didn't read any of the fine print. They've got to pay like $400 a year on like there's an annual fee. And I'm not taking any part of the benefits like the Centurion Lounge or whatever you want to call it in the airports or like the $100 in Uber. Haven't used any of my Amex benefits, but you better believe, if we're out to dinner or something like that, it's my turn to pay. I better believe I'm going to flash that Amex. Not going to have any kind of benefits from it, but hey, look at this card.
It's a little clout on the Amex.
Don't leave home without it. You know what I'm saying?
The Amex does have that annual. Now a lot of them do. So you also get points. I mean, you get a little kickback.
Yeah, you get some kickback, but I'm not sure if it's worth the price you got to pay for it. Well, because I'm not using it.
I'm not getting into your gender battle here, Steve. It sounds like married into debt. I don't trust credit cards.
Oh,
yeah. People get in trouble with credit cards now.
Amen, brother.
Wish you could put your ID on your phone, but Florida doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
What's that? Like your license? You can't put your floor. You can't put that on.
I assume you can't do that. I mean, that's
smart.
Really? You think that's smart?
I don't know what.
Someone can steal your. I mean, like it's one thing with credit cards, but having like your driver's license number just for anybody to see, I don't know,
that's
man.
Probably true.
Also, we get a lot of love for Apple Pay in the chats. I'm not sure if this is
awesome.
AI talking, if these are real people.
The Apple Pay thing is really good. Like,
yeah.
I know I'm like new to the game. I'm not new to this game, but I'm just saying from an habitual standpoint, like now I'm like, I don't even want to take it's like it's exercise and work for me to take my wallet out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel you, man.
And you don't even have a wallet.
Man, we just slide.
I'm nervous about that part.
Why are you nervous about this part?
I'm like,
this is where it's at, everybody. Like, you just have a couple cards right there, put on the side of your cell phone, Brent, because you never leave your cell phone.
No, it is true.
So,
it is probably the most protected thing. Like I protect my cell phone more than my kids.
Are you one of those types where if you're driving and you're Ty sitting shotgun when he was a kid, and like all of a sudden there's like a deer or something in the road, like a car stops short, and you got to slam on the brakes real quick. Instead of going like this across from your son, you just go to your phone. Like you're on your phone, all of a sudden,
Maybe.
Ty, you okay? Okay, good. All right.
I've never actually, I've never been one of those, actually. Do you do that? You're like,
oh, yeah.
do you
Brent.
really? I
Yeah.
don't. I've never got that. I remember like my sister doing that and stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is this going to do?
Dude, yeah, but did your mom ever do that to you?
Maybe my mom did too.
Of course. It gets passed down generations.
Yeah, I don't do it.
Oh, because my grandma, even if like a car like passed her and then like, pulled out in front of her, she would still like,
Really?
just to protect me. Yeah. And I don't want to like say I'm breaking the law or anything, but my son who's 9, he's a pretty big kid.
Yeah,
he rides in the front seat.
I think he might be. Is it a weight thing now?
I don't know what it is, but like he's been riding the front seat.
Ty had to wait
for
till he
like
was 16. Poor Ty. Sorry, man.
Oh,
Apologies.
that's messed up, man. But no, like every time, so like my son's been riding this seat since he was like 7, just because like that's how old I was, and like whatever, man. Like he enjoys it. He feels cool when he does it. So I'm like, yeah, you're in the front seat with me, and every time like someone pulls out in front of me or something, I'll do it myself. And like he looks at me like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I'm fine.
I know. I'm like, what is it going to help? I guess helps. Are the airbags better in the front seat anyway?
Good call. I would think so.
Wouldn't you think? Like, I don't know.
But
that.
I mean, I feel like, well, my car's a little older, 2013. But like, I feel like the new cars now, like, there's airbags all around.
Well, that's
like
true.
the
They're
side
everywhere.
ones and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing on the credit card, by the way.
Hit me with
did
it.
feel like I had some clout at one time because, like, Marriott, we are like a Marriott rewards thing. I think that's who our credit card was through, or the Visa one. I mean, we got more than one card. Who doesn't, I guess. And this thing, you talk about like it was heavier than the American. It was a heavy card. Like every time I did, it's like, whoa! Like the person, like, what is this? What kind of special card is this? Like I got so many comments about the card, and then they like changed it. They went to the flimsy one or the light one again. It's like, come on, man! Like people were impressed. They thought I was a high roller for a moment. They're like, what car are you driving?
So my friend who was also like at one time my financial advisor, he had the black card.
Oh yeah,
and tried to sign up for that one. Didn't even come close to qualifying for the black card. Didn't know what that all took in. Hey, just to let you know. It's a little more crazy than you think to qualify for that black card, but the black card looks cool.
It does.
I mean, that's
cool.
like the ultimate right there. That's the goal,
man. I tell you, if I would give there's 2 like financial lessons in life that I would learn. It'd be like, don't get the credit card stuff, which people try to avoid, but they don't.
See, that's
get
what my
it.
grandparents told me.
It's like don't. Well, that's probably it was smart.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around people in family and really close friends have had a lot of credit card debt, and for whatever reason, I don't know when this stuck with me. I just hate the interest. Like we all have to pay interest to some degree on things, right? But that thing that like jars me, like what you could pay on a credit card interest. And I know sometimes you can't avoid it. I mean, there's been times, but it's like, woof, try to avoid it.
Yeah,
if you can, you can get yourself in trouble. Then the other one is, I always said, I learned like about 401k in like 8th grade. So that's my
saw one Amex black card when I was a cashier. Thing was hefty. That thing's thick, man. I'm not lying. It's like it's kind of like a burger patty. It seems like it's like that thick, man. I'm telling you, it's almost like this phone. Just like
FSU baseball has some Friday fits, by the way. We're going to check those out. I don't get it.
Okay.
We got a mask on with our Friday fits in baseball. We'll maybe get that for later on in the show. Brent Martineau Austen Lane, where we sometimes talk sports or talk anything. It's Friday, man. We're talking anything on Friday here, late May, last day of May, which means summer is here. It has already arrived in Northeast Florida, but hope you're doing well on a Friday heading into a busy weekend. The Jags topic of the day, I mean, we kind of don't do a show without talking a little bit about Jags. Yesterday was kind of more organic, where we ended up talking a lot about Doug Peterson and where he's going and kind of a legacy. And it got me thinking today, there are so many, every year in the NFL, it's a prove-it year. It doesn't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter. I mean, listen, you might be set for life, but there's also pride and ego at play, and then sometimes legacy at play. And I think the Jags are in a situation much like I feel like they were in 2017. And these are situations, by the way, I like. I think you've got a bunch of guys that are playing either with a chip on their shoulder because things disappointed, they were hurt, they hadn't been paid yet, whatever, or there's money to be made or legacy to be gained. And what I mean by that is, take Tyson Campbell. He's got a lot to play for this year. Devin Lloyd. How many more chances? If he doesn't play well, or if he's just this year, is he getting a chance next year? We talk about that guy a lot. Now, you take a Josh Allen, and you got legacy play. You go 17 and a half sacks. What if you follow it up with that? Now you start piecing together, wait a minute, this guy's a Hall of Fame caliber player, right? You can get into that stratosphere. We've talked so much about Trevor Lawrence this week and this last couple of months and everywhere else. I think every time he takes the field, there's kind of a legacy play to the quarterback position, especially with him as a number 1 overall pick. So I kind of leave him a little bit out of this discussion because it's an easy choice. Give you Cam Robinson. What's he doing next year? Is he one of the elite tackles in the NFL? Is he going to get paid? Is he a moderate tackle in the NFL? Where is he? So I think the Jags have a lot to play for, and I like that. I like when they have a chip. I like when individually you have a lot to play for because let's be honest, and you know this, there's a selfishness to the ultimate team game as well because it's a business.
Yeah, of course. You saw this chip with Josh Allen. You've seen this chip with Cam Robinson. When you're talking about millions and millions of dollars, when you're talking about legacy, yeah, players are going to step up their game a little bit. And there is a lot of unknowns right now, Tyson Campbell being one of those. So I do like where they're at. Now, every year it seems like you're going to have a couple of those guys.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's just the way that the league works. But, yeah, I think there is something to play for. And once again, you combine that with the fact of everyone's talking about the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is kind of a perfect storm to exceed expectations.
Yeah, and I think this is a cool town because if you've been here a couple of years, you understand what it means to the people here in Jacksonville. I think Buffalo's like that. I think Green Bay's like that. I think in New York when you play, or even a little bit in New England. Now, New England's so big that it feels like everywhere you go to New Hampshire and Vermont, and you go to Rhode Island and Massachusetts and Connecticut and Maine, and it's like everybody's wearing a Patriots shirt. So you kind of maybe feel that because of the enormity of it. But I think in New York, it's almost us against them. There's such a negative connotation. It's like your mission to do well is to avoid being on the back pages or getting ridiculed by everybody in New York, from fans to media to everyone else.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. But what I like about Jacksonville too is that, and this is different in some states. Like for instance, you go to Green Bay on a Sunday, sit in a sports bar. You're seeing Packers jerseys.
Yeah.
If you see a Vikings jersey, a Bears jersey, people are going to call you out.
Fight.
Or a Cowboys fan. Maybe a fight, but Green Bay is kind of more chill, but they'll give you crap.
Yeah.
Right? In Jacksonville, you'll see Steelers jerseys in the sports bar, you'll see Cowboys, because, a lot of people move here, so... And that's one thing, but what I like about that is then, okay, you got to deal with the other fans from other fan bases, and then you got to set yourself apart and be a Jaguars fan as well. So it's almost like you're not only battling the national media, but you're also battling the inner circle of your city where everyone else seems to be a Steelers fan or a Cowboys fan or a Packers fan, and here you are still rocking your Jaguars fan. It's almost like liking that band that you grew up with, and you're not gonna you're gonna stick with them regardless. It's almost like a Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes they're not cool. Maybe sometimes there's better bands out there, and maybe sometimes people are trying to, hey, come like this band. Nah, you're sticking with what you grew up with. You're sticking with what got you there, regardless of what the outside influences are trying to do.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I'll take it in this context, though. In these smaller towns, and especially with this team that's been around a little bit, we've had about 65% of this team has been around, I think, for a few years, and they got 22. And they understand when that's going good, man, this town's on fire.
Of course.
Right? It's really cool. And so you get a taste of that. So my point is, I think this is a very individualistic world in professional sports. It's about you and making money, and you have little earning time, especially in the NFL. You got to stay healthy. There's a lot that goes into it. And sure, that doesn't mean you're not a team player. You understand the team concept, but it can be a very me. Take care of me and my family first type of thing, which is on many levels understandable, but people don't like to admit. But I do think in Jacksonville, they also are like kind of pulling in the same direction because, man, we want the taste of what it felt like in 22 again. We want that ride was fun. It means so much. We can impact people. So I think there's an element of that in the building. But at the end of the day, you go back to the individual side of it is what I'm getting at. And individually, I think the Jags are in this way of so many guys have a lot to prove, and there's different levels of that. There's hey, I got to come back from injury. Hey, I got to get paid next year. Hey, I got to validate I just got paid. And the guys that validate just got paid also have legacy parts of it. I mean, maybe it's Foye, maybe it's Trevor, maybe it's Josh, maybe it's Christian Kirk, somewhere in there. Maybe it's Evan Ingram. I mean, now he can start working legacy. I mean, you're talking about a guy who now has a chance to. I mean, if he's here for another few years, he'll put himself in the pride of the Jaguars.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot there. And I like that is really my point because I think it's the perfect mix when you have guys that are motivated to play for themselves and obviously also trying to do the team thing. Because in this sport and in professional sports, you've got to play for the team too. You have to buy into that. You can't just worry about your individual accolades. But then there's this mix when, hey, you got to do it. And 17, I'm telling you, go back to 17, and there are examples of it. I'd have to go check out the roster, but I've talked about this in the past where there's a little fire lit under everybody. Whether it was, hey, you're going to be a bust of a draft pick, or this is your last year of your rookie deal, or you got a chance to make a big contract. Like there were stories like that in 17, and then you had this collision of Tom coming in, Tom Coughlin and Doug Marrone, and kind of changing the tone of things as well. And then they also had free agents coming in that actually were good and hit, and some draft picks that obviously rose up. The Jags situation externally is you got some free agents coming in. Will they hit? Mm-hmm. And will Doug be able to capture all of the stuff that we're talking about and get the most out of this group, even though he's now been here for a couple of years? But I got to feel like even Doug's motivated, going back to yesterday's conversation, like to get – there's a reason he's doing this, man. He could be on the golf course in Jupiter. I mean, he's a competitive dude. Sure. And so I think he wants that taste. So we've talked to him before. We've sat down with him one-on-one. That taste of the mountaintop is a sweet thing. And last year was no fun. And so from a competitive standpoint, you think you're getting back there. So I just feel like this. I do like that. We asked a question yesterday. Is there a little bit of false hope around this team? There are more red flags than we are admitting locally. And some people argue, well, there's not enough hope around this team. And others will say, yeah, maybe it's right on point. But today, I love the fact that they're set up with a lot to prove. And I think as professional athletes, when you can get in that situation, a little desperate mode without being desperate, urgency is probably a better way to say it.
Yeah.
Usually you get the best out of people.
No, without a doubt. And I think there's a lot of players in this team that have to reach expectations. I think Trevor Lawrence being number one.
Yeah.
And regardless of if he gets paid this year or not, which, all indications probably are that he will at some point, what the rumors are saying. But I do like this season from the standpoint of we're about to find out if Trevor's the guy or not.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, because you don't really have any more. I get injuries can be a thing, but you feel like the offensive line is better than last year. Your receiving core is better than last year. The running game, hopefully Tank Bigsby takes a step forward. Travis Etienne, you kind of know what you're getting there. Hopefully they can stay healthy, knock on wood. Could be better than last year. The play calling, we'll see how that all pans out, whether it's going to be Press Taylor, Doug Peterson, but you hope that you see some nuances, some new things, or do you just kind of keep it simplified and players respond to that? Whatever the case may be, you hope the offense does better than, knock on wood again, than last year. So you have all these things. Now it's like, all right, Trevor, let's go out there and see what you have, because here's what I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, about what people feel about Trevor Lawrence. I think so many people invested so much into him when he came here because this was the fan base that was cheering for the Jaguars to lose. All right? And I was in the distinct minority that said you shouldn't do that because I don't agree with cheering for a team to lose. I think it's a loser's mentality, and I went on that big rant, and people respected me, but people also had something to say about that thought as well. So when you go all in when you root for a team to lose, when you root for other teams to win, when you root for James Robinson, hey, please don't play because we have a better chance of losing if you're not in the game. When you're cheering for all that, well, you're kind of tied to that person then. And you're kind of invested in that outcome. I haven't forgotten any of that. I haven't forgotten the tweets that I received when people were upset because I said this team should be winning and you should cheer for this team to win because it's a loser's mentality when you cheer for a team to lose. I'm not built like that. So I didn't care if it was Trevor Lawrence, Peyton Manning. No, I don't think you should cheer for a team to ever lose. I just don't think that. But when you do that, then yeah, you're tied to that quarterback. So I haven't forgotten any of that. So when I go back and think of all the times that people were cheering, oh, please lose, please lose, please lose. And then I see Trevor Lawrence with the stats that he has and what he has on the field. Yeah, to me, it's not good enough because everybody was expecting a savior. When you cheer for a team to lose, guess what? You're expecting a savior. And I don't think you've gotten the savior quite yet. So I'm very excited to see this year with all the tools at his disposal, with offensive play calling, with everything in the line now, the stars are aligned to see if this guy can actually, quote unquote, be a savior or more importantly, be elite.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point. Maybe we have talked about it, but we talk a lot about Trevor Lawrence, and I think we've kind of brushed by it. We know what it is. I mean, he has been looked at that way. He's so important, in my opinion, to right now the fabric of the city. I mean, he's embraced it. He's very beloved here as a young man who's seems like just a great human being, which is also easy to wrap around, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously has skills and talent that I don't think we've seen from that position before. Now he has to live up to some of that and perform to get into the top echelon of the record books and be the number one quarterback in franchise history. But I think over time we believe that's going to happen with him. But I think you do bring up a good point. It's not just that the Jags are invested. The city's invested now with a new stadium on the horizon. There's a little bit of that going on here in Jacksonville as an underbelly. It's not all on him. He's going to build the stadium. But let's be honest now. This is all coming to fruition at the same time for a reason. Mm-hmm. So the fan base is invested, to your point. The Jags themselves are invested, where Shad spent a ton of money to put players around him on the field in free agency, and maybe even more than we thought this last offseason. How much they spent. They're about to spend even more, most likely, with his contract. So they're all in on Trevor.
Of course.
And they almost have to be the way this thing shook out. Now, I always caveat with this. It ain't his fault that everybody said he was going to be the savior. He didn't. He didn't get in front of a microphone and say that. Mm-hmm. We all did. All right? So, everybody else did. And so that's a little bit of a difference, but the bottom line is he's been kind of labeled that guy, and it seems like, I think this is why we like Trevor so much, he has welcomed that responsibility almost. There are a lot of folks that are uncomfortable in that spot. He doesn't seem to be. He's like, that's all right, let's go. I'll be the franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. I'll run the team. I'll be the mayor. I'll be the I'll be the everything here. That's fine.
Yeah. And I agree with you. He didn't ask for any of it, for sure. And a lot of the fan base, a lot of the national media appointed him, quote unquote, generational and the savior and all this stuff. I get all that. But I watched how this fan base was cheering for a team to lose time and time again. And I watched a team like the Chargers. The Chargers weren't like, please lose so we get Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
No. And right now, and once again, you can go back and forth with me, but I think Justin Herbert is better than Trevor Lawrence right now. I think the stats say it. I think the numbers say it. I think what you see on the field. Now, once again, Herbert had a better situation, sure. Better wide receivers, sure. And we're going to find out this year just how good Justin Herbert truly is without Keenan Allen, without Mike Williams, without Austin Eckler. But where it sits right now, you didn't have Chargers fans in the streets celebrating when the Chargers lost the game to get Justin Herbert. You had people parading around town, woo, Jaguars lose, Trevor Lawrence, let's go. So if that's the energy, then hold that guy accountable and make that guy a top 5 quarterback in the league, because that's what you wanted. That's what you were cheering for. That's what you expected. And it's not there right now.
Yeah, and not to the degree that you're cheered for it, is what you're saying. And by the way, that's a long parade from San Diego to L.A. With the Chargers. That was probably part of the reason why.
Good point. Yeah.
Hey, so anyway, a question kind of, I don't know if we do a question of the day, but if we had one, it would be, who has the most approval? Like, in your opinion, who's playing with the biggest chip? Who can in 2024 raise their stock the most? But we actually, in this conversation, take Trevor out of it, because Trevor obviously has a lot. But who, in your opinion, offensive side, defensive side, if you think of legacy, money, football career, who comes into play? Jags, obviously, every year, every team's got a lot of options to pick from. But who in your mind has the most in Jacksonville on this roster in 2024? We'll talk a little bit about that with more to come. Got the Mavs and the Celtics now in the NBA Finals. Think it's going to be really good and entertaining. That should be fun. We've got some fun topics along the way on a Friday as well. Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Happy Friday, everybody. Hang with us. Everyone loves a good game night. And you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh, man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out gwoutdoorliving.com for your free estimate.
I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnicht family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains, and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJax.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, there's a look at the sports complex. And by the way, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are home. You don't see the baseball grounds there, but they are home this weekend and have been this week. So go check out a ball game if you can against the Durham Bulls. Meanwhile, the Jaguars wrapping up this week of OTAs. Short week because of the holiday. They'll be back at it next week, so that'll be the beginning of June. And then the following week is mandatory minicamp, which is always interesting with Doug because it seems like he has let those guys go through mandatory minicamp unless you're a rookie or have an injury and need to be, around the facility. So we'll see what he plans to do if he mixes it up a little bit. But the last 2 years, a lot of those guys have been able to get out of Dodge for the mandatory minicamp part, which, again, I think also showcases what, those 3 days really mean to even the coaching staff. Yeah. But Jaguars finishing up and wrapping up some work and kind of getting their plans ready. If you missed it earlier this week, there was a report from Tom Pelissero that there's going to be an NFLPA push to extend training camp and get rid of this part of the offseason. So kind of vacation up a little bit more. And then once you kind of get to camp maybe a few weeks earlier than normal, so earlier July, which will be very interesting to the NFL calendar and what that does. I think a little part of that is the NFL rooting against it because they like to be in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. There are very few downtimes in the NFL. Now, technically, this is a downtime. I mean, they're getting their stuff done. But still, we go out to a practice. We can talk about it. They're doing that in 32 markets. They're probably doing it in other markets. The bottom line is, in our business, the NFL has become such a talking point that you're going to talk about something NFL related. If you're a national show, either way, you're going to find it. I mean, I've been watching that on ESPN a little bit and other outlets. Just from a writing standpoint, you can tell some of the stuff they're writing is like, hey, come up with this, come up with something, come up with. And by the way, that doesn't mean they're bad articles or bad things to read. It's actually an interesting vantage point. It makes you dig a little deeper because you've got to come up with something to appease the appetite of the NFL fan. I think if you're a national outlet, obviously we're going to talk Jags no matter what, if they're practicing or not, because it's a heavy play here in Jacksonville. So I do find that part fascinating. And that off-season stuff coincides with something we really haven't talked about too much. We mentioned it. 18-game regular season schedule. Like, we're headed there.
Yeah.
And how much pushback is going to be from the players?
An extreme amount of pushback?
You think so?
Oh, without a doubt. Absolutely. Yeah.
What's going to be the trade?
I mean, what do you get? It's going to have to be a lot more money.
Like, what more is it just a money thing? Will it be a piece of the pie thing? Because I think piece of the pie wise, aren't they up around? They're close to 50-50. It's not 50-50, but they're close to 50-50. Can they push past that barrier?
I mean, it's going to have to be just because I feel like the players union, you're going to have a hard time justifying player safety as the number one priority when you're going to add another game on top of it.
Yeah. I'm surprised, and I said this when we just briefly discussed it a couple days ago or last week. I'm surprised we've gone from 16 to 17 to possibly 18 so quickly. And you wonder how much of that conversation was taking place during the last CBA anyway. Hey, we're going to get to 18, but let's just start with 17. So maybe the foundation has already been set in the conversations. Mm-hmm. I get it from a money standpoint. I get it from a fan perspective standpoint. I mean, the preseason games are somewhat, I don't want to say useless, but I don't know if there's as much value as there used to feel like there was, right, with the preseason games. But 18 regular season games in a season that is already losing so many quarterbacks. I mean, just take the quarterback position. Forget about all the other positions. I'm sorry, all due respect. But the quarterback position has played between 65 and 70-plus quarterbacks, which is like an average of 2+ per team in the last 2 seasons. I don't know if it's good for the sport to continue to add. I get it from a ticket revenue standpoint and a money standpoint, but I don't know if it's good for the sport.
That's all that is. It's money. And like the only way it's going to work is if they give up enough money where it's almost like it's an offer you can't refuse.
Well, they'll get there if they think they're going to make it.
Sure.
Right.
But I'm saying, but the players still have a little bit of power here is what I'm saying. When the next CBA comes around where it's like, yeah, we'll do it, but you got to, wet our beaks a little bit. Like, you just can't say, yeah, we'll do it and then we're going to vote. No, like there has to be some kind of trade-off, like you said. So I think the only thing you can trade off now is more money or how you treat the offseason, which is already kind of being talked about a little bit. But then, like, I'm not sure what that's going to look like.
Do you think another thing they could do is increase roster size there because now you're employing more people instead of maybe the pie, but you're paying more players? Therefore, maybe even a more having a 3 quarterback deal becomes a little more prevalent, or just more roster positions that you increase. They already increased the practice squad to 16. They kept that. That was out of COVID, by the way, and it was something that they kept, which I like. I think it's a very good thing what they've done with the practice squad to give guys opportunities to get game checks, play a little bit. You can come up and down there more than you ever could do in the past.
Yeah, but do you think guys in an NFL locker room that are with the CBA, that are with the players union, are really going to be like, all right, well, we'll play 18 games, but you got to help some of our practice squad brothers? No,
but I think it's part of the win. I mean, to employ more players. I mean, there's got to be something in there where the NFLPA is saying, hey, this is good for us, too. This is good for the sport, right? Well, but it is more money. It's more opportunity and more money for people.
Sure.
Or maybe it's – I'm just saying bottom up or even if you top down, but just don't forget about the down part.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely throw the practice squad guys in there, more rosters, all of that stuff. But, yeah, to me, it's going to come down to money. That's going to be the driving factor.
Yeah, this is a good point, too, like O-line. You got to be deep on the depth chart to protect T-Law for the longer season. I think that he's talking specifically for the Jags and the Trevor Lawrence conversation. But even that offensive line, it gets beat up like all the time. You would think an expansion of rosters, right? Now, the problem with the offensive line is there's just not a lot of offensive linemen around that exist on the planet.
Yeah.
That play at that kind of level. I mean, just hard to find those kind of human beings. But I do wonder where it gets us. Listen, we can be very selfish in this conversation, be like, we're football fans. Let's give it to us more. We don't like the preseason games. I get that. But I think that's very unfair to the players and unfair maybe to the product. I think what you ask yourself where the NFL could go wrong at times. And right now it seems so bulletproof, Austin. I mean, the NFL is just a machine, an absolute juggernaut. That is so part of our culture that has built fantasy football and now the gambling aspect, and I think keeps so many people employed around the country in many ways and kind of upright in a world that's ever changing. I mean, the NFL just keeps going and going, and now they're trying to expand even globally more than they've ever done. That's where there's no saturation point, at least in the United States. It feels like it kind of is. So they're going to continue to grow it. But I do think one of the danger zones of the NFL is to potentially water down the product where it's not that entertaining. And when you're seeing second and third quarterbacks play a lot of action, you are in danger of that. I mean, we do want to see our stars play. That's why they've protected the quarterback more and more with the rules of the game. And you know what? In the last couple of years, it hasn't helped. I mean, it really hasn't helped. Guys are getting hurt left and right. Is that because now you need the mobile quarterback because big defensive lines are so good, so you got to be able to run, which puts you at more danger? I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons. But going to an 18th game when guys are already banged up, guys are already hurt, I don't know if that's a good thing for the product. And once you lose integrity of the product, you start to minimize what you could be. That's a long fall, by the way. There's no way the NFL, I'm not talking very short-sighted. This isn't a 3-year down the road. I'm just saying what happens in 25 years, 20 years to your product if you continue to do it.
See, I don't think the product's going to go anywhere regardless of who plays because I think the NFL is way too big to fail. When you have fantasy football, when you have gambling, people are going to tune in regardless of who the starting quarterback is going to be.
I think you're right. But you know what? There's gambling in baseball, and they don't tune in just for that. You know, I mean, these other leagues aren't doing it just because of gambling. Now, fantasy football seems to have a bigger fix, and again, part of our culture, all this stuff. If I had asked you this question 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago about baseball and other sports, you'd say, like, wow, it's fail-proof. Look at, I mean, it's the beast.
But how many people are actually betting prop bets for baseball compared to football?
Well,
to me, it's not even close.
I think it goes hand in hand because of what you said, fantasy football, but also the eyeballs on the sport. Somebody's going to come up with something, though, at some point that'll trigger the NBA or the NHL or the MLB, or maybe it's some other sport. Maybe it's golf and NASCAR, whatever. But at some point, somebody's going to come up with something that is going to impact their sport like fantasy football impacted the NFL, in my opinion. I don't know what it is. I'd come up with it if I thought of it.
Yeah.
But at some point, the evolution of our society, our technology, maybe it's got to do with AI, right? Maybe it's holograms. Maybe
VR.
like whatever it is. I don't know. We don't know. We wouldn't be here talking about it. But I think we always have to remember that before football got so big, it wasn't this big. Before baseball started losing, maybe it's the market share that it had way back in the day, it did have the market share way back in the day.
Sure.
So between society changing, technology changing, interest changing, all these things, I think it's a dangerous thing to assume, if I was in the league office, that it's just always going to be this way in the NFL. And I think one of the things that can hurt you is watered down play, watered down product. I think we see this with and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe we see this with the movie industry of sorts. Right? Where it's like, hey, can you reinvent the wheel? Has every movie been made? Right? Have the graphics been so good? Have the comfortable nature of sitting in a movie theater so good? Well, what changed? Well, now we can get them all at home and we can just push a button and everything else, right?
Correct.
But there is a little bit of how often does a good movie come out compared to 1980, 1990, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Very few and far between because you can't reinvent the wheel.
No, you can't reinvent the wheel, but I do think there's something to be said for streaming and things like that as well, though.
Yeah, so that's the
Netflix,
technology
all that.
side.
Yeah.
But there also is this product side. If there was a movie that was a real, unbelievable, and there have been, then you go and you see it and they do really well.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, did Top Gun 2 or whatever do really well? Maybe it did.
It's a good in the theaters, yeah.
Yeah, regardless of streaming.
Sure.
So it was a good product. So my point is, if you put you still have to have a good product.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a good product, but you also have to, it's more marketing now than anything.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just going to be interesting to see where the NFL goes. Is 18 the max?
I mean, I would hope so, but at this point, if you're just going to keep on being greedy and try to make more money, who knows where this goes?
The NFL reinvented special teams. Yeah, kind of did. We're actually going to talk about that in just a little bit. But, they kind of have reinvented special teams a little bit. And maybe reinventing a little at a time, the way the game is played to keep it entertaining might be part of it, too. One other thought I have, and I've mentioned this in the past about, the international series. Can we get enough football players that are good enough where they actually have a league over there? They did, by the way. They once had a league over there.
Like NFL Europe?
Yeah, but we see European basketball, right? Japanese baseball. We're pulling players from those leagues now more than ever before.
Correct.
Into the NBA and Major League. We're saying, hey, it's a pretty good product. You get some good players over there. So I wonder if that's 20, 25 years down, whatever the year total is, with the amount of people that love playing ball with the exposure to it globally? Do we get to the point where there's like a secondary league, and our secondary league isn't necessarily college football?
I mean, there are leagues already in Europe. Like I've had some friends playing Hamburg. It's like I don't know what you'd even call it, but it's like a professional European league. And then at least the way when he played was you can only have like 2 Americans on the field at the same time.
Interesting.
And then you have to wear like a giant A on your helmet to know who the Americans are.
Really?
Correct. So I think like in terms of talent in other countries, I just don't think I mean, you might have to give it another 10, 20, 30 years before that talent in Europe can fulfill an NFL or like an NFL caliber style team to be competitive with some of the teams over here.
Well, I don't know if you necessarily need all the people over there, though. There are plenty of people that go play European basketball from the United States because of the opportunity.
Okay, so you're saying Americans can go over there and play. I mean, they already have that.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying the thirst for the NFL in the 90s wasn't where it is right now.
Okay.
Right? In football, in our culture.
Sure.
And so you can how many teams can you expand to? You can't. You're at 32. It's a nice, comfortable number. It seems like all the pro sports work in that range, 30 to 32.
Yeah.
But my curiosity is, can you make, let's just say, a 16-team league that plays over there? Can you get 16 more teams that play in London, in Germany, in these places? That is an alternate league of sorts.
Okay.
That you can have that crossover a little bit. Potentially with those teams, but you're not going to put them in the same divisions, right? This isn't moving the Baltimore Ravens to London. No, they play over here. They once in a while might go play in London against a team that's in that 16-team league, a different way of NFL Europe, if you will, but they're actually joined together, the 2 leagues, or it's an alternate league of sorts.
Okay. So you're saying they'd eventually play each other, so you're saying like the winner of that like league would play the winner, like is it its own separate entity? Or would there be like them playing each other?
I don't know that yet.
Okay.
Haven't got that far down the road in building it.
Yeah.
But what I do wonder is, like, let's just go to the soccer model.
Okay.
The soccer model, what they do have sometimes is, well, first of all, you could include relegation in this, but I don't think we're going to get there because I think that the teams that are in the United States are going to be well planted in the United States. But what I'm wondering is, you know how they have like the, what do they have, like the Open Cup, U.S. Open, or no, just the Open, they cross over the leagues, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, okay.
All right? And so you get somebody from the English Premier League playing against the Champions League. I mean, they do that all the time.
Sure.
And so maybe that's kind of how it works. Or do you get your eventual Super Bowl winner to be a World Super Bowl winner where you play them?
Yeah. I mean, my only thing would be is that if you're going to have teams across the country of like in terms of free agents, like how many guys would actually want to go over there and play? Money?
Well, I'll tell you,
families?
I'll tell you this right now. If
but then it's okay.
give me a guy on the bubble.
Are you not going to give it like a salary cap?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be built like that. I mean, there's plenty of money over there.
But then you bring a guy in the bubble, like on a bubble of the team?
Well, I think you get cut. Okay, so you take, let's just take Josh Dobbs.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
A guy that can play in the NFL. He's been a backup in the NFL, but he's not really getting his chance to start in the NFL.
Correct.
He could be a guy over there that plays, and you find him. I mean, Gardner Minshew takes his fame, right? And he's a guy that says, hey, I'm going to go be a star over here.
Okay.
I mean, we get that. We get that sometimes. We get Jimmer Fredette scored 80 points in the Chinese league, right? I mean, we get Steph Marbury going to finish his career over there. But
then if money is the case, then how come we can't pull everybody from Manchester City and Manchester United and Liverpool to come play in the MLS?
Well, because the best is over there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And by the way, we just did.
Messi?
We
got one.
We pulled the greatest on the planet.
I mean, one would say, is he in his prime still?
Okay, but that's a huge name they pulled.
Oh no, it's put the MLS in a new stratosphere.
Yeah,
without a doubt, hands down. I agree with that. But I don't see him like the Saudis paying for Mbappe. Like Hovland's chilling in Manchester City. Like I think US has all the money they could ever want. You know, like in terms of like, look how much they paid Messi.
Yeah.
Messi came over here not because really I think he was like, oh, I want to go live in America or the U.S. I want to get this money from Miami.
Deal,
yeah, it's a business deal. But like, if we have all this money, then why aren't more players coming over?
Yeah, well, because I do think it's like the NFL is going to be, this is going to be the hot spot for it. And much like the English Premier League and soccer, the hot spot's over there. I mean, we can't catch up to it. We can try. But the MLS is surviving, right, and doing pretty well. And maybe you do steal some of these guys. That's what I'm talking about. Is Gardner Minshew better off playing over there and being the star of the league or playing over here making $25 million in his contract? I don't know.
See, I think the only problem is that the way that football, and once again, it could change down the line, but like, think about it. You said it. We maybe have the greatest soccer player ever playing in the United States. How many Messi jerseys do you see when you go outside?
Yeah, I mean, I see some, but not a lot.
Okay, in Jacksonville on a given day, how many Messi jerseys are you seeing? Probably not that many.
Probably none.
Okay.
Depends where I'm going.
If Gardner Minshew goes over to wherever he's at, say he's playing, should I say Germany? Or
sure.
Whatever.
Germany.
England. I mean, do you really think that they're going to embrace him so much in a world of soccer where it's going to be like, all right, well, this is going to be a Gardner Minshew diehard fan base now?
Now, you'd have to have like Mahomes go over there in this context because that's the kind of level of star.
Yeah.
But he could also be like a folk hero over there or something. Minshew could be. And raise the bar. Again, you're not going to eclipse what the NFL is, but you could be a side kind of partner of the NFL over there and expanding it with the 16-team reach, in my estimation. I think... Listen, nobody thought pickleball 5 years ago was going to be as big as it is.
Stop.
I mean, things change is my point. Like, it changed. It's not going to be the same. It's just not. It's not going to be the same. I mean, MLS is bigger now, and Messi coming over here 10 years ago, who would have said, yeah, the best soccer player, one of the best soccer players of all time is going to come to the United States and play soccer? Yeah, right.
Okay. Nick, you play pickleball?
No.
You know what pickleball is, though, right?
Yeah.
Brent or Nick, give me the top 10. Give me one out of the top 10 best pickleball players in the world right now and go.
No idea.
Who is it?
Mike Bursch.
Mike Bursch? Top 10? Brent?
I better beat Bursch. I have no idea.
Okay.
What is that? I can't name the best UFC fighter in the world right now.
I mean, I can name you a top 10 one. Nick, can you name one? Give me one UFC fighter in the top 10. Just guess. See what you got. Can you name one? Maybe not. Might have been a bad person to ask.
Yeah, bad person. I'm not a big UFC guy. No
Give me a top 10 women's player in the world right now in tennis.
What does that matter? You're
saying
saying how explosive and like how pickleball is taken off. I can't name one pickleball player professionally.
Yeah, but you know the sport is boomed.
How boomed is it?
It's boomed. It hasn't boomed on a professional level yet.
Oh, okay. Then it hasn't boomed for me.
You know it has boomed? You wish you owned a pickleball court. That's how much it's boomed.
I'm good.
Yeah, you wish you did. That credit card, you'd get that black Amex.
So I own a pickleball court. What I do? Just have people come play in my pickleball court?
Yeah, charge them to play, and you'd be raking it in.
Okay.
But that's my point. We're going to see.
If pickleball is so big,
in 10
then
years, by the way, pickleball will be huge. Like, you'll know the stars.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
So
in 10 years, make this a note. In 10 years, I better be able to name at least 3 of the top 10 pickleball players in the world.
You will.
I can't wait.
You will.
Okay.
There's a girl in pickleball I saw last, like in March. I was watching pickleball on the Tennis Channel, by the way. Yeah, they were playing it. She's 16 years old, and she had made $1.6 million playing pickleball.
Cool. Now, does that have to do with influencer? What are you, Brent? You can make $1 million on TikTok right now. Like, come on, man.
No,
like the money doesn't mean anything.
No, this was like earnings.
Okay.
From events.
Good for her.
So
still know who she is.
I know. I mean, listen, I don't either.
Okay.
But we will. Like in 5 years, we probably will know her. She'll be the Serena Williams of pickleball.
Okay. I hope that's the case.
The whole concept here is that things change. Like, if we think the NFL is going to be a 32-team league in the United States only in the next 20 years, I think we're kidding ourselves. I think the landscape is going to change. You know why? Because the landscape always changes.
Correct, but you're thinking that the NFL is going to dilute its product to keep on playing more games. And I'm here to say I don't think that's going to happen because regardless of who's playing, I think it's too big to fail because I think too many people are invested in fantasy football. Too many people are invested with the prop bets and everything. And too many people are invested just in traditions of growing up with football. So I don't see – it's almost like soccer in Europe. You could have the worst team ever with bad players, but people are still going to show up because that's what they do.
That's fair.
I think people are still going to show up and watch football because that's what we do.
That's fair. I don't know the soccer landscape like at all or well enough to know if they've had some, hey, are we playing too many games, right? Is relegation still a good thing? Mm-hmm. Like, although, like, I don't know what they're talking about over there. Are they still doing things 30 years ago in soccer that they're doing now? Mm-hmm. And because you're right, it's still as wildly popular in that sense. But yeah, it's just gonna be. I think things come along. And I'll just give you another quick example. Then we got to hit a break. But I mean, nobody would have predicted the college athlete landscape that we now sit in.
Correct.
I mean, like NCAA, it's March Madness, the biggest event. Amateurism, heck yeah, we're always going to have this. We now have no amateurism. Like, it's not an amateur sport. Like, college sports has changed so much in just 4 years based on some outside things and inside things. And that doesn't even have to do with technology or the way we view things and hear things and see things and our appetite for stuff. That's got nothing to do with, in my opinion, society or technology. I think the biggest impacts that could come to sports are societal things, habitual things, and also technology that could change it some 20, 25 years down the road.
No, I hear you. But you mean to tell me, like, when they announced the NIL, you didn't see what was going to happen?
Because we even talked just like 4 years or 3 years ago.
I know.
You know?
But, like, you could kind of sense that when they started announcing, like, hey, we're going to pay players, well, you're going to put a cap? No, there's no cap.
Yeah.
You knew, I mean...
When they opened the transfer portal, you now knew it's going to change.
I never in my lifetime thought I would see athletes get paid in college. I'll be honest. I thought the scholarship they were going to say was enough, and it is what it is.
That's more my point. I thought people would be paid under the table and they'd cheat forever.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. I never saw the NIL thing even happening. I suggested it should happen, but I never saw it happening. But what I also saw happening is when they suggested it, when it came to fruition, was the fact of, well, you have no reins over it, you have no control over it, and now you created a monster that you can't, like, sustain.
Yeah. And one other note, just to finish it off from an NFL perspective, Roger Goodell, I think in many respects, I know he gets booed and people, whatever, he's making $1 gazillion, but which also puts him we don't like him because of that probably. But he's done a terrific job. And I think overall, I mean, look where the NFL, how can you say he hasn't done a terrific job? He's the guy leading the way, and the NFL is the biggest thing in the United States by far and continues to grow. Mm-hmm. So he's done a great job. What I do think can happen sometimes in these instances is you get a guy in that role that doesn't do a good job. Mm. And he makes a faulty mistake, and a mistake that you can't recover from. Mm. Like that, and like, heck, they're even bulletproof so far from scandal. I mean, the NFL has there's a headline every week, and it doesn't affect and impact the product. I think this has a little bit of like a wrestling feel to it. Even WWE like feels so big, and it is big, and the wrestling world is so big, but saw a dip there that made people start to wonder, is this it?
Of wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little, or with at least the transition and the McMahon stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, kind of, I don't know how much of that happened because I'm not in that world, but I got to believe at times they were like, oh, this is never going to be the same. This is never going to be the same.
Yeah. I mean, it felt a little bit like NASCAR.
Yeah.
Where maybe
you
take a little bit of a dip.
Yeah. NASCAR has already lived through that. Will they resurge it? So I don't know. I'm fascinated by that stuff, where things are in 20, 25 years because, they certainly are different than where my daddy was watching sports or grandfather was watching sports years ago. And so I got to believe there's some change.
Sure.
How much change will be interesting to watch. And all that from an 18-game schedule conversation.
Well, one more thing with pickleball really quick. And
back to pickleball.
No, because I think, we're talking about the evolution and you think it's going to be this big thing. Here's my issue with pickleball and me saying I don't think it's going to be a big thing. Because I would much rather watch tennis than pickleball. And people don't even really watch tennis like that in this country. So what makes people want to watch pickleball?
Okay, so let me ask you this, though. fair enough. But what we don't realize in the United States is how big tennis is globally. Like some of the.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure. Globally, sure, but I'm saying like in this country.
Yeah, I think more people. Well, I don't know, but I think eventually there'll be a star. Or do you wonder, like Coco Gauff right now? By the way, advances I think through the 4th round at the French Open.
Okay.
Does she transition and say, "Hey, my body's getting too beat up, and I'm going to go be a pickleball star," and then bring people
maybe.
over? Like, I don't know if that happens.
But are people watching Coco? I mean, like,
yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
know.
That's a fair question. They're not already watching it, but they're a lot of them playing it.
Sure, no, I get everyone's playing it, but like, I get playing it, and that's cool. Like, I can see the appeal a little bit, but like, I'm saying watching it on TV or like watching it in a stream.
Yeah, will it become?
I'd rather watch tennis.
Okay, I'll give you one more here now that we're stuck on it.
Okay.
All right. Did you ever, in your lifetime, 20 years ago, when you're playing video games as a kid,
correct,
think we would have esports in college and millions of people watching someone play Fortnite from their living room?
Not at all. Not at all.
So that's kind of my point. Like, nobody could see that stuff coming. Like, it's just amazing.
But to be fair, though, like, kids always enjoyed watching video games.
Okay,
now,
they enjoy watching it, they play it.
Yeah, I mean, I played so many video games.
So that's my point about pickleball. All these people are now playing it. Is the next generation going to be interested in watching it?
But what I'm saying is, like, when you were growing up with your friends and a friend was playing, like, a video game, you still enjoyed, like, watching that friend play a video. Like, that's what Twitch and streaming became. It was taking the idea that, hey, remember when you were growing up and maybe you had an older brother who was playing Madden or something, or playing Mario, even if I go old school, and he would never let you play, but for whatever reason you still like sat in front of that TV and watched him even though he wouldn't let you play? They took that idea and just expanded it into the everyday. And that's what essentially Twitch is. I think that if you're playing pickleball, you enjoy it. You're in the mix. But like, if I'm on the bench watching somebody play pickleball, am I having fun? I'm not. Maybe somebody would, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Interesting to see where it lands.
B says, waiting your turn. Did you have older? Okay, yeah. Or your older cousin said, absolutely not. You're not playing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's a problem with the video games at that time, or well, still maybe definitely at that time is they weren't all connected.
Yeah,
so you can't all be playing at the same time. You got to wait your turn. So you got to watch. So it kind of grew us into, hey, you got to watch. Well, right now people are waiting to play pickleball. They're standing in line. You know what else you can be doing at that time? Having a drink, have a little appetizer. I think I don't know if they already exist. I got to believe they do. If I could start something right this moment, if you got a lot of money or a decent amount of money, you could do it. Go buy a piece of land, go put 4 pickleball courts, go put a stadium court in there, and then build a bar and a small little restaurant around it. And you got music playing, you got everything else. And now waiting around isn't such a bad thing to play. So now, and watching pickleball, because now you're having a little bit of you're in your cul-de-sac or you're down at the beach, watching, waiting to play.
Stay tuned for Brent Martineau's Pickleball Podcast coming soon to the Action Sports Jack stream. My word.
I'm not even as locked into pickleball as everybody else. I'm just acknowledging that.
Oh, dude, you're locked. Stop. You just spent the last 30 minutes trying to campaign for how pickleball is taking over the world.
Trying to get people to invest with me into this damn thing.
Oh my God.
Let's go find a piece of land.
We got female golfers smoking cigarettes. We can't even get to that part yet.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Let me get to this first. Military Appreciation Month, and you can save some money at Nimnik Buick GMC. As a token of their appreciation, they're extending a special offer, $1,000 total cash allowance to all military personnel and their families on select new vehicles, a small gesture of gratitude for your service, and they thank you for everything you do. $1,000 off for military personnel and their families on select new vehicles. Also, in the month of June, Bravo Rama at Nimnik Buick GMC. Find your next used vehicle with Car Bravo, a better way to shop certified used vehicles online with transparent pricing, and you can save big with a Bravo Rama special all the way through the month of June. Nimnik Buick GMC, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade. We all have our favorite spots in town to eat, drink, and have a good time. And once in a while, we try a new spot. This new spot will soon become your favorite spot. It's 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco, Where else can you get unicorn fish? It was really good. They have local fresh seafood. Try a terrific burger or a Jack's Hot Chicken sandwich. The ambiance is perfect for any occasion. The idea here is to have fun, have a good time. Whether you're chilling out on the couches, cozying up to the bar, having lunch or dinner, it's a throwback experience. 1937, when going out to dinner was like going to a party. They even have a photo booth. Who doesn't like a good photo booth? We recently brought the entire team out to try it, and everyone said, I'm bringing my significant other here to try it as well. The new spot becomes your favorite spot. Make 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco your new favorite spot.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The friendliest golf course in town, the Golf Club at Southampton. Local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the pro shop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
My goodness, can we get down a rabbit hole?
Oh, yeah.
Brent Martineau Austen Lane.
Had to come back up for air.
Nick in the daytime. Planning our next pickleball tournament.
Oh, man. It's amazing how much I don't like it. Like, it's an actual issue for me right now, I think.
You're a little contrarian on this.
On
You're
pickleball?
Contrarian in some respects anyway, aren't you?
I'm contrarian in some aspects, but
You
like,
don't want to fall in line.
well, yeah, I don't want to play golf. I don't want to do pickleball. Yeah, I'm contrarian.
You need that
I
furniture
don't know.
source couch.
I think here's what you'd say about me. I'm country club contrarian.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, because I feel like pickleball you see at a country club. Like that's what I associate pickleball with.
Yeah,
now maybe I'm wrong.
There's an element of that. I think we've got further away from that in golf as well, but I think it's always going to have that stigma. But tennis is a country club sport as well, right?
So I don't watch it.
And yeah, I mean, so pickleball will probably have that connotation to it, although I would say it's very more like recreational. Like this thing was birthed at recreation places, and now what you're seeing is the country club stuff pick up on it.
Sure.
And so now they're actually morphing their tennis courts into pickleball courts. That's what's going on. Like if you look at country clubs in Jacksonville, like that's what they're doing.
Okay.
And by the way, makes some sense because you can do like 2 pickleball courts and 1 tennis court, size-wise. All right, how about the Mavs and the Celtics?
Whew. I mean, why even show up to the game? Minnesota. That was
Disappointing. Luka showed up.
Luka definitely showed up. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought Minnesota was gonna win that game. I thought it was gonna go back to Dallas, and Dallas was gonna finish it. But I don't know what it was. But you talk about the best defensive team in the league, and a team that seemed to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. This young, cocky swagger. They lost it all last night, and that was compliments to Luka. Like you've arrived as a generational talent when you look at Snoop Dogg and start cussing him out. And that's what Luka did last night. Luka literally, I think, it was the and one. Gets an and one, and then like any person would probably fist pump and say, yeah, I'm good. Your direct instinct is to go to the sidelines, find Snoop Dogg, and cuss him out? And what did Snoop Dogg do? Snoop Dogg was like, that's a cold dude right there. He's a different animal. I mean, we're talking about, and like, I'm not trying to, I get we live in the moment and recency bias. When you talk about the best backcourts in NBA history, I think we're putting Luka and Kyrie, I don't want to say at the top quite yet, but you're putting them top 3 of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know you were going there today.
There we are.
I mean, like who? It's so hard in the NBA because everybody's a swing man. Like who you labeling a backcourt?
So here, in my opinion, I think the best backcourt to ever do it, and once again, take the recency bias out of this because when they're in their prime, they're in their prime. I'm taking Klay Thompson and Steph Curry because of how many championships those two were able to win. And I think you're talking about arguably the best 2 shooters in a backcourt on a team of all time.
Yeah, I was wondering about, okay, so this is where you're going to get different definitions of it. It's like the NBA, I think, is hard to
it's
say
simple.
because everybody's a forward/guard.
Yeah,
you know?
But I'm taking point guard, shooting guard, backcourt. Then you got small forward, power forward, center.
So this is a list, all right, just as I Googled 10 best backcourts, how quick, it came up with, and you might not be wrong because this list to me is not overly impressive.
Okay.
Chris Paul, James Harden, Rockets. Again, who knows where this list is coming from?
Okay,
I'm just going to throw some out there. I'm not giving a lot of. This is out of the sporting news though.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher, obviously carried by Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, of course.
Michael Jordan, Ron Harper, carried by Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So they didn't put Pippen in there. Pippen as a forward.
Yeah.
Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe. Okay, we're going back.
I was alive then.
This is one that I would say, and obviously it's best of the ones I've mentioned so far, and I would agree. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili.
That was a good one.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, Bob Cousy, Sam Jones.
They put Isaiah on that list. Dumars. Resetting the,
yes,
Jordan
Jerry
down.
West, Gail Goodrich, and then number 2 is Thomas and Dumars.
Dumars, yeah, because they made Michael Jordan who he was.
And to your credit here, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson,
number 1.
They agree with you.
Yeah, well, to be fair though, like back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, it was a lot more of the forward play and like
absolutely the big man mattered.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that just when you say that, I'm like, really? Yeah. But maybe not so far fetched. I mean, the only pushback I'd give here is, okay, it's not just recency bias. It's not enough sample size, is it?
I mean, it's not necessarily because of how long as Kyrie. Well,
right.
Best seasons for sure, but just what it looks like and can they? I mean, I feel like they can sustain this. Like the reason why they're so high on the list already is just because no one's ever really done it this way.
Yeah,
but granted, they have some good role players and everything, but like, listen, Kyrie and Luka are carrying this team right now.
Yeah, they are.
And then they're both guards.
Go look at their point total. It's unbelievable compared to everybody else.
I mean, like everyone's, and like, don't get it wrong. Like Luka can facilitate, and so can Kyrie. But like, these are two guys that are putting the team on their back and scoring.
Is that going to be the fault of them in this finals against the Celtics? Because if one goes cold or you shut one down, then that's it. You cut the head off the snake.
I mean, that was kind of the talk going into last night's game, where it's like, all right, they finally found a way to shut down Luka a little bit. They finally found a way to get the best defensive team in the league. And then Luka comes out and drops 20 points the first quarter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, Luka's definitely a top 5 player, but I wonder if it's getting to the point now where he's almost kind of got like that Joker status where he's almost like unguardable.
Yeah. He's certainly playing at an unbelievable level. See, I thought you were going to take this. That's funny that you took it to the backcourt. And I will say this about Kyrie Irving, and I always admit this. I'm not like, I watch Lukas of the world and Jokers of the world, and I've casually watched the NBA. I'm not sitting there every minute of play. But I think I'm a lot like a bunch of other folks when it comes to Kyrie Irving, where it's like Kyrie Irving was like lost to me. Mm-hmm. You follow the Boston thing didn't work out. The Brooklyn thing was a debacle. Then it was wild and weird and crazy, and it's like, okay, off my radar.
Yeah.
The world is flat or not or whatever. So I'm just saying, I'm just being honest. Like I just like lost. I didn't care. He went to Dallas. Luka's Dallas. Mm-hmm. Mark Cuban was Dallas more than Kyrie Irving to me. From the outside. But I saw something yesterday that kind of registered with me. Not only obviously is he playing well, but and this is more shame on me. Maybe he's been like this for the last year or two. He looks like he's having a blast. He sounds like he's having a blast. He sounds like he's in a good place. It almost, like my instant reaction to it was, man, he was in a weird place at that time, and he's in a much better place right now. And again, that is a very novice instant reaction look at Kyrie Irving.
You're not wrong, and I'm with you too. Like Kyrie is like the ultimate basketball enigma to me, because I started out liking him when he was in Cleveland. I liked the whole story with him, LeBron. I liked Uncle Drew's stuff. And then, like, he goes to different places, and there's rumblings there, and it's like, is it his fault they're not winning? Is it his fault the locker room is kind of, falling apart? And you saw that escalate in Boston, and then you saw it reach a point or a head in Brooklyn. And it was just like, man, and then the whole flat earth thing too is another thing. But like, it was just like, to me, it was like, for as much as you want to go on your own campaigns and talk all this talk and kind of act weird, you aren't that good. And then he made me eat my words, because he really is that good. I just think sometimes the stuff that he does off the court takes away from truly how good he is as a player. And we're seeing that now in this series, or the series that's over now. But I think like what benefits Kyrie and Luka is having an owner in Mark Cuban that understands the X's and O's of basketball. Like, this guy could probably be a coach, Brent. I remember watching Mark Cuban go on the Skip Bayless show way back in the day, and he essentially embarrassed Skip Bayless in terms of his basketball knowledge and IQ. And I think that's showcased even more when he brought Jason Kidd in to be the head coach. Jason Kidd was the head coach in Milwaukee, and I'll be honest, I didn't like those years just because he was a little too quiet for my liking. I don't think he held players accountable, and he was just kind of a guy that sat on the bench and didn't really get in anybody. You bring Jason Kidd now to Dallas. Jason Kidd, obviously a point guard and a very respected point guard, NBA top 75, and you let him kind of mentor Luka, and you make him Kyrie Irving's best friend. And now it's like a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
It makes too much sense.
You bring up a lot of different things. First of all, I don't want to dismiss Jason Kidd. I mean, you talk about a resurrection of sorts even in his career. It's like, here we go to the finals with these guys helping resurrect Kyrie Irving's career and putting him back on the map. Luke obviously leading the way of all that. And again, I do give credit to Cuban. I think Cuban's a very interesting and important figure in all of this, who's kind of gone under the radar. He used to be the loud guy on the sidelines all the time that was always being shown, and now he's kind of stepped back into a role where it seems to be working well.
Yeah. Well, and keep in mind, too, with Jason Kidd, with
Cuban.
Yeah, with Cuban, it was his idea to get Luka in the first place because they had Trae Young, and Cuban wanted Luka. So they traded with Atlanta to get Luka.
Well, they also have
we
two
know who won that
game-changing players, right,
Yeah.
over the course of his ownership, Dirk Nowitzki and now Luka.
Yeah. Now paid Chandler Parsons a max contract. So, hey, not every deal on Shark Tank is going to be $1 million idea, right, Mark? Maybe we should have said you're all set on Chandler Parsons, but regardless, still it shows you how his basketball IQ to get Luka over Trae Young.
I'm going to say something that's so in the course of your conversation there. I'm going to say something that I wonder how you're going to take it.
Okay, careful now.
And so I'm wondering how social media will take it.
Oh, get ready to cut this one up. This is going to be good.
I find out it just popped in here to you were complimenting Cuban on his basketball prowess and as an owner. Again, a lot of owners are not in that role, right? And sometimes if you're in that role, it's too much.
I mean, how many NBA owners can you actually name?
Exactly. Like, that's not their job. It's why they hire GMs and other things. And I'm not saying he's actually the GM of the team, but it is unbelievable if you think about two guys in sports that we would relate in the same way. They both exist in Dallas.
That's a good point.
Mark Cuban and Jerry Jones.
Mark Cuban is what Jerry Jones is trying to be.
In a way, because he's trying to get to the promised land. But I give credit to Jerry Jones way more than other people will. He's assembled a lot of that team over the years into a very good team. People would sign up for that Dallas team a lot. Why they can't get over the hump, I don't know. That's maybe a Jerry problem. But the bottom line is I felt like we used to, as a public, laugh at Jerry Jones at like, dude, you're the rich owner that just got your hand in the cookie jar too much.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing this. Well, that player acquisition part from Jerry Jones over the years, and now Stephen Jones and some of that operation with a heavy input from them, obviously, has been pretty damn good. And this is not the formula. This is not what people do. The Red Sox owner is not picking players. Steinbrenner used to be this. This is actually the Steinbrenner way. It felt like he had influence over it. And people were like, no, that's way too much. You can't do that.
There's still influence over it, man. You can't have a beard on the Yankees. Can't have the long hair still. His influence is all over that.
But like
team,
Hal Steinbrenner, totally different than George Steinbrenner in terms of the influence over the organization. But isn't it wild? I mean, it's really just an observation. And I'm not telling you it's a trend and this is the way it should be. But it is wild to me that if you look at probably the 4 professional sports that you think about, and you look at their ownership, there are 2 guys that seem to play a heavier role in maybe the actual X's and O's, acquisition, knowledge of the sport. And that would be Cuban and Jerry Jones, and they both exist in the same city.
Yeah, that's wild. It's a great point. I never thought about it like that, but you're absolutely right.
But again, I'll caution, like, I don't know if it's not the way to be. Now, who's the guy at Phoenix? The big mortgage guy went to Michigan State.
Yeah, hang on.
I think it begins with an I. He just bought the team.
Matt Ashiba, right?
Ashiba, yeah.
Yeah.
So he just bought the team.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if he'll be that guy because he's got basketball background to it.
Yeah.
Does he want to be like a Mark Cuban-esque?
Yeah. I think you just have to walk a fine line if you want to be that guy. Like, Mark Cuban has earned his stripes because he's shown because keep in mind, he traded for Dirk too. Milwaukee had Dirk. Milwaukee Bucks had Dirk Nowitzki. And Mark Cuban goes, I think we can get him. And they do. And they traded him for Tractor Trailer, and I got a Tractor Trailer jersey, and may he rest in peace. Loved him, but didn't do as well as Dirk Nowitzki did in the league, right? So, like, he definitely has that, like, he knows what to look for in players. He has that IQ, and, like, listen, the way that Mark Cuban has done things, I get, like, okay, you're a billionaire, you're a very smart businessman, so that means one thing. But to get the players in there that he has, like, coming out of college, or not coming out of college, but in the draft, like Dirk Nowitzki wasn't what he was considered nowadays. It was like, all right, this slow European that is not really athletic, that can kind of shoot. You want him on your team? Mark Cuban did. Luka, look at him. Look at the body type. Look at the athleticism.
Look at him.
Doesn't play defense, But guess what, man? He learned to play defense. Obviously, he's got the fire in him, and now he's the next star in Dallas. So, listen, I think Jerry Jones falls in this category as well, where Jerry Jones has a good eye for talent. CeeDee Lamb, classic example.
Trevon Diggs.
But one guy has won, one guy hasn't.
Yeah, that's a difference.
And then that's the difference.
I mean, listen, he's not a perennial. Let's be honest. The Cowboys and Jerry Jones are more of a perennial contender than actually the Cavs are. I'm sorry, the Mavs are.
Yeah, I mean, year in, year out.
But he's got the championship.
Yeah.
And he might be on the way to another one. Who knows? We'll see. They're obviously an underdog in this series against the Celtics. We'll talk more about Luka down the road, but I think Luka, I wonder the context here, what we're going to see now that he is on an NBA Finals stage. This guy was a star anyway, but I said this last week or maybe earlier this week. He was starting to come down a few pegs on the star level because other guys were going from Joker to other players that felt like they were at least more talked about.
Sure.
More nudged ahead than him. It'll be interesting context. Think about this. Maybe we discuss next week. Has there been another guy, has another player almost had a resurgence like this back to the top? Because it's not just his game, now the stage, but also the attitude part of it. I mean, that part of it is kind of a new wrinkle that's almost given him a new persona and I think a new fame. A different kind of fame than maybe he had 3-4 years ago when he was lighting it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now, and I get it. Some people want to talk about the flopping and stuff, and okay, that's fine. But, like, to me, it's the perfect storm right now of you have a guy who doesn't look like every other, let's call it what it is. Like, he's a European white dude.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's not the physique.
With a dad bod.
With a dad bod, right?
Who's drinking a beer right after the game.
Exactly. And then on top of that, he's arguably one of the best shooters right now in the NBA of what it looks like. But then on top of that, he talks maybe more trash than anybody right now in the league. So you have a guy who stands out the way he looks, the way he plays, and the way he acts. It's a perfect storm.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a different kind of stardom. He's been a star.
Yeah. Like, do you think he knows, like, who Snoop Dogg is in the history of Snoop Dogg? Like, do you think he knows? Like, do you think he knows, West Coast hip-hop and all this stuff? I don't know.
I can't imagine.
Probably not.
I never thought Nick in the Daytime was a Kendrick Lamar fan.
Yeah,
so I thought he was a Garth Brooks guy.
And a Garth Brooks hater on top of that. And then it just, once again, I can watch the clip all day, and then just to go make an and one, go to Snoop Dogg and just cuss him out. And then when Snoop Dogg was such in shock, he's just like,
had respect for it.
Guy's cold, man. Yeah, it's insane.
All right, let's take a time out here on the Brent Austen Show. A lot of fun, goofy things kind of happen in the sports world. One, we've got a new John Daly.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
And it's a she.
Let's go.
Have you seen this?
Get that. Hey, I might be in love, bro. I'm just saying right now. I might be sliding into some DMs later after this show.
We'll be back on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. It's a Friday. If Austen Lane just said he might be in love.
Might be in love.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Shacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot, any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
An historic debut was cut short by Mother Nature, and a new opponent hopefully yields new results in the latest Armada Minute. The under-23 women's team had the chance to play in front of a home crowd for the first time in program history, but couldn't find the back of the net before a weather delay in the 69th minute resulted in a scoreless draw against Dade County FC. The girls in blue hit the road this week for a pair of matchups against Florida Gulf Coast and Cape Coral before returning home June 8th. The men's team continues its road trip this weekend as well with a Saturday afternoon matchup against Miami Dutch Lions FC after 2 losses in Naples last week. The Armada will return home on Friday, June 7th against New Orleans. Visit JacksonvilleArmada.com for tickets, and if you make a reservation for next year's MLS Next Pro season ticket, you'll get free admission to all home games this summer.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability. Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part? They did it in one day. It was a professional process from step 1. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
You ever heard of Charlie Hull? Now you have.
I have. I have. I've done some research, Brent. Yep.
Not a pickleball player.
Not a pickleball player.
Women's golfer.
Women's golfer. Now probably in the top 10 or top 50, I think.
But certainly a hot topic today.
Yeah.
In fact, so much that you have fallen in love.
Oh, I'm in love. And I will be sliding in the DMs after the show. Because, I mean, I can't do it right now. I have to prep myself. You know what I'm saying, Brent? I have to light some candles, play some baby face, and then I'll slide in the DMs.
So you've done some homework as my guess.
Homework? This video was everywhere.
I know, and I know.
Guys just going gaga over this, Brent.
So here it is. Cigarette
You know, it's just such a weird scene for me. Like, I wouldn't even imagine it was a cigarette until the smoke came out, right? Because I thought it was just a pen.
Yeah.
And then, but you also don't see people smoke anymore.
Why do
Everybody's
you build
vaping.
me up, buttercup? I mean, okay, first of all, cigarettes, no one's smoking cigarettes anymore, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're working a graveyard shift at
Are
a...
Europeans smoking cigarettes still or vaping?
I don't know, but so no one's smoking cigarettes, and then on top of it, a female athlete, a professional female athlete is smoking, Brent. You kidding me? And by the way, I did some research, like I said. So she's actually been recorded on the golf course, like when she's like in the tee box, smoking as well. I can't get enough. I don't know, something about a woman smoking, breaking all the rules. Fun fact, Brent, you probably never dated a smoker, have you?
No.
So my first girlfriend ever, my freshman year of high school, her name was Samantha. She was from like 2 towns over. She was a senior. She had a car. Like, hey, I was living fast and living loose.
That was
right.
Wow.
And she had a smoking problem, and she would smoke.
She had a smoking problem?
She would smoke like a pack a day.
Wow.
And this goes to show you like where my mom was of letting me make my own decisions. Like, hey, getting a tattoo when I'm 15 years old in the guy's kitchen.
Yeah.
Dating a girl named Samantha who smoked a pack a day and had a car when I was a freshman in high school.
This wasn't just driving in the front seat anymore.
Oh, no, man. Like, and dude, like my friend, I thought I was the coolest dude ever, right?
Well, you probably were.
But at the same time, I was kind of frightened by her as well. Because like there would be a couple instances, I'm not exaggerating, like I'd be at my friend AP, my best friend's house, AP's house. And like she had a habit of like never announcing where she was. So all of a sudden, like we're downstairs playing video games, N64, because hey, freshmen in high school don't have time to do adult things like smoke cigarettes. And all of a sudden, AP's mom would come downstairs and go, Austin, there's a girl in the driveway rocking this jean jacket, says she's looking for you. I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably Samantha. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Like she just pull up to my friend's house unannounced and say, let's go, we're going for a ride.
And smoking a cigarette at the same time.
And smoking cigarettes. And then she offered me one time where I say, I got football tomorrow. I probably shouldn't. Like the ultimate was, I'm not sure what her play was, honestly.
That was the end of that relationship.
I don't know what her play was, man, but I don't know why she was hanging out with me.
What's Samantha doing now?
Probably got a couple kids around. Hanging out in central Wisconsin.
Okay. A lot of people do.
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Probably, but no, I'm making the joke of like at the time you never expect her to be like the motherly figure. And
that's
now,
a good point.
Yeah. Someone said I was a boy toy. Yeah, probably.
So who is Charlie Hull?
Look it up, man. Let's go.
I think I spelled it wrong. It's CHARLEY, not IE. Sorry.
Can we see the video one more time to make sure that she's actually like inhaling this cigarette? It's not just for looks here to try to get people talking about it. Nick, I think like the girl's a full blown smoker.
So this is, by the way, at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And the comparisons, it's so funny how a guy like Daly can be linked to smoke. Like there are a gazillion people who have smoked in this country.
Yeah.
And Daly is like the link from a sports perspective, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, do you think she knows what she's like? Do you think she's actually like addicted, or does she know what she's doing here?
No, I think she knows what she's doing.
Okay. But she inhales with like, I don't know, man.
Oh, you're asking me like, do you think like she was going to get video, like know what she's doing? Like, is this for?
Yeah, my whole point is, do you think she actually smokes cigarettes?
Addicted. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's way too comfortable.
Okay. Yeah. True.
Yeah. Like.
Because you could see, like, you know, a college athlete doing this just to get the clicks.
Yeah, no, I don't think
this is the world that we live in.
I think she.
This is genuine.
I think this is genuine. Like, this is like me sending a text while I'm talking.
It's just that natural.
It's just that natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's multitasking at its finest, and she's very comfortable.
Okay. Got it.
So she's just 28 years old?
So, yeah, a little background about Charlie Hull. English pro golfer, has been compared. The first thing that comes up when you Google Charlie Hull has been compared to John Daly for her unconventional style and personality on the LPGA Tour. She's actually ranked number 8 right now in the world, so that's good.
Wow, she's a good player.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she was that good of a player.
Yeah. And her bold approach and unique persona have drawn attention, leading to her dubbed as the John Daly of women's golf. I mean, I need to see some interviews, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. There's a story in the New York Post about her that does a little deeper dive.
Hit me with it. What do we got?
And I'll read a little bit of it. She picked up a golf club first time at the age of 2, turned pro in 2013. She won the Ladies European Tour Rookie of the Year award. Hull was diagnosed with ADHD last year, explained how she uses fitness to manage her symptoms. She's like, when I feel like I'm struggling, I go to the gym. That's really about it. She has 434,000 followers on Instagram and probably climbing.
Could have more than that. Yeah.
Interested in fashion, described her style as unapologetic. Now, that's very John Daly-esque as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like...
Marriage? She married?
No, I don't think so.
Hold on. Yeah, married.
Oh, she is married?
Ozzie Smith? It says spouse Ozzie, not the old Ozzie Smith, some other Ozzie.
Yeah,
well, hold up. Hold
Smith.
up. Breaking news. Divorced in 2021. And we're back. We're back. All right, everybody. We're back. Sorry.
Who needs Tinder? We'll just use the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network to get Austin connected with Charlie Hall.
Let's go.
Wild. And she does have a little bit of like I mean, there's obviously the Natalie Golbus-esque kind of appeal.
Yeah.
In a way. If I'll say it that way in the nice way.
Yep.
Which might hint at the 434,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah, for sure.
Influencer. But again, like what's interesting here is I did not realize, like I don't watch a ton of women's golf, but you know some of the bigger names in golf. Mm-hmm. I didn't know her as a like top 10 in the world golfer.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that I feel like being British kind of helps you out too. You know, like I mean, Rory McIlroy's he's not British. Like, well, he's Irish, but like I feel like the whole European player kind of helps you out too in the sport of golf.
I think so. I think it can help.
And if she's good, I mean, listen, this isn't like an Anna Kournikova situation where it's like, okay, you know, like she dated a bunch of athletes and she
or
was
even
good
like a
looking.
Golbus. Golbus never really lived up to it in the golf world.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
But you know what you were doing. But like, no, this girl seems to be pretty talented in her own right at golf. So
there we go. So
yes,
I don't know if she's actually available, but you should have gone to the U.S. Open.
Well, I know, right? Now I'm going to have to like buy the LPGA Tour app or something like you did for the dog sled races, and we'll go from there.
Yes.
How much are they charging?
Yeah, you could just like
$10
flip on
a month?
NBC this weekend.
Oh, all right. Is that what it's like? Hey, shows you how much I've been following women's
You
golf.
might be able to do that.
I mean, Brent, I don't watch men's golf. I think I'm watching women, but I am now.
But you probably don't have to get a subscription to watch it.
That's a good point. Okay.
So that's a good sign.
I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
The Marlboro stock just went up, by the way, too, this week.
You know she's going to have an endorsement. She's got to.
Does the cigarette companies do well still?
I don't.
Or did they like
the
transition into the vaping game?
I think they kind of got in the vaping game as well. I mean, I don't know.
You know, because like so, for instance, the beer game. Mm-hmm. If you were take like the top brands like Budweiser, whoever's related to who, Miller Lite, mm-hmm. You know, all the, you know, the standby beer that everybody's had. Well, they now buy up like the craft brewery places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I wonder if that happened in like the cigarette industry, where like the popular brands from Marlboro to is Newport a popular brand still or whatever, buys up like the vaping industry. I don't know if that took place.
Hold up though. This is actually because I don't know what the rules and regulations are. Because for instance, back in NASCAR racing, back in like the heyday with the Dale Earnhardts and Jeff Gordons, like dude, everyone was rocking like Marlboros and
Winston.
like Winston.
But
like,
Cup.
Can they sponsor? Probably not, right?
I don't know whether market
because like I mean you can't advertise it.
Yeah, they used
on
to have
TV.
to take down. I remember like I think it was at Pawtucket, but in some ballparks it was like the Marlboro Man sign was up, and they had to take that down.
Yeah, that guy was cool, man. I was like,
I don't know the rules. It's so
Yeah.
funny how like the cigarette game is. So I was just talking about this recently with somebody. You know, it wasn't that long ago you could smoke at a restaurant, and I remember when that transitioned. I think I was in Albany, New York, in like the early 2000s.
Yeah,
and that's when like they banned it from the restaurants. People were like, oh my God, you did what? Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's just such a natural thing.
You know, what's wild about this whole story with Charlie Hall? Like if she would have had like a THC vape, it'd have been like whatever.
Whatever.
Like, yeah, whatever.
It's a good point.
Go to college.
The throwback was needed here.
You put a cigarette, it's like, whoa, Charlie, take it easy. What are you doing?
That girl hold that cigarette on her lip like my uncle, the mechanic.
I'm telling man, I hope she becomes like a star. I really do. Like, I've never heard
this
her.
is going to help.
Yeah.
I mean, you fell in love.
I did fall in love.
Off an 8-second clip.
I'm going to need to see an interview. I got to see what the accent's bringing. I got to see what the attitude's bringing. But so far, checking a lot of boxes for me, Brent.
One other quick story here, away from golf. The New York Mets are a mess.
Yeah.
Fell out of love with the New York Mets.
Oof.
it's striking to me. So the Mets have like this crazy payroll, right? They're back. The moves they're making, new ownership looked like, hey, we're going all in. We're going to win, and they tried to, and now it's backfired from DeGrom and Scherzer to others. I mean, they're just a mess. And obviously in New York, you become more of a mess. I mean, there are probably a bunch of teams around the league, or a couple or handful, that are also messy. But when you're in New York, I mean, what do you think the media in New York right now loves more? The Yankees hot with Judge and Soto the way they're playing, or the Mets like just a reality show disaster?
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect storm because you have the best of both worlds, but you got to lean towards the Mets because I feel like New York feeds off the drama and the controversy.
Yeah, and you know, they've kind of always played that way. The Yankees are obviously the top team in the market anyway, and it's a little bit second fiddle with the New York Mets, and now they're kind of performing their roles. It's like when the Giants and Jets, one's good, one's bad, right? But the Mets kind of are the Jets. Now, the Jets are a little bit different right now. I just am fascinated when you have a team like the Mets that actually has had some nice little runs here, but the Knicks, who have finally come out of it, the Jets. I mean, you were talking about a couple of few franchises in that market, of all places, that have been complete disasters at times over the last 20 years in all sports. And it's not just it's magnified, but it's not just, hey, you're a disaster because you're in New York. No, they were like epically bad. And the Knicks were that way for almost 20 years. The Jets were that way for a good portion of the last 20 years. And the Mets have been that way at times as well, and just swinging and missing in so many ways. They are like, they can't find, they're going to have to reset the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to just
strip
it down.
Pete Alonso's
start
going to be
all
traded.
over.
Yeah.
And become the Braves.
Yeah.
When the Braves stripped it down to go back to Houston days. Like, can you do that in New York, though?
Can you strip it down and start anew? No, because you're going to feel like you have no choice but to. But I feel like, but to me, I'm not sure, like, I don't know a lot of Mets fans. I know Yankees fans. I know how they act, but it's weird because, like, the Yankees have always seemed like that team of tradition, expectations. If you aren't going to the World Series, you're failing. You know, like, even giving Boone as much time as you did, I think people felt a certain type of way about that. The Mets, I feel like it's different, where you don't have, like, the classiness. You don't have the expectations. You know, you have great players and you have a lot of money, but, like, I never even had them in the same, like, town when it comes to the Yankees and the Mets. So I'm not sure. Like, I think you could tear it down and start anew, and it would be kind of accepted, as opposed to the Yankees, where if you tear it down, rioting.
It's so funny. Obviously, close to home here, I feel like I know more Mets fans, diehard Met fans, than I do Yankees fans. Like, in my circles. That doesn't necessarily speak for the amount of them. I mean, there are a lot of Mets fans, by the way. I think Frank the Tank, he's always around. He kind of represents the Mets fan that has become like obviously a big barstool thing. So it almost feels like they are elevated on my timeline, in my world a little bit, the Mets. Not more than the Yankees, but more than you think they are. And I don't know if that's real life or not. But the bottom line is, you take the Chicago Cubs, take the Houston Astros, take the Atlanta Braves. And what they did, if you go back to the early 2000s, which started with Houston, I think then went to Chicago, then Atlanta. I think I have the chronological order correct. What they did is they stripped this thing down so much and rebooted it and started over. And what you found is sustained success from Houston that just went on a dynastic run over the last decade. Atlanta's in the middle of a very nice run, even with some of the injuries they've had, but a World Series, one of the top teams, a lot of good talent they've been able to build and grow, and homegrown. The Cubs were not able to sustain to the degree, but they had a great nucleus for a while there. From Baez to Rizzo to Bryant, it looked like they were going to be able to sustain. They didn't, maybe to the degree they wanted, but they won a World Series, so it paid off. I just don't know if you can do that in the New York market and get away with it. I don't. It might be the best thing to do. I think there's a blueprint for doing it. But can you do it in a New York market, a Boston market? Closest thing to it was Chicago, and they did it. They probably took some heat for it. but
Well,
they did it.
Yeah, the Cubs have one of the best farm systems now, too, in Major League Baseball.
Like, you could do it in Milwaukee, probably.
Well, you have
right?
to do it in Milwaukee.
Yeah, you can do it
That's
in
been the story of the Brewers, Brent.
You can do it in a lot of places. I just don't know if you actually can do that in New York. Like, will you survive? Will people survive that are in the organization?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when you do strip this down, most people don't survive. You reset it, you reboot it, and a lot of times you actually bring a guy in to help reset, reboot, and then you fire him, forget somebody else to get it to the finish line.
Yeah.
Like, that's also what has happened along the way in these towns. So they are a big-time mess. They tried to go for the big home run swing in the last couple of years. It's backfired on them, and right now they're like directionless. They have no compass. And when you have no compass, the best thing to do is basically strip it down and start again.
Correct.
And again, there's a blueprint in sports for that, but there's a blueprint in baseball specifically that if you do that and you make good decisions, you can actually win pretty big. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires. Have a good weekend, B. Catch you all Monday. Out to lunch. By the way, if you're going to lunch, Donato's Pizza.
Nice.
Brent 20 code, 20% off. We're going to have a little Donato's Pizza in here later today. We're recording a new show, a couple episodes that will start next week. It's called After the Game with high school coaches in the area. And that will launch next week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network on Tuesday. We'll run it again on Friday as well. So we're looking forward to that. But we're getting some Donato's Pizza today and using the Brent 20 code to get 20% off. You can too in Mandarin and Jax Beach. Let's take a break. Lunch hour up ahead. Back to some football talk and some fun things here on a Friday. Still to come on the Brent Austen Show. I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnicht family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
It's the fishing tournament everyone wants to catch. The Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. It's June 8th. Limited boundaries, no bait buying, no checkout. If you don't catch the big one, just catch any size kingfish and have a chance to win $10,000 with a Nimnicht Lucky Ticket. It's the Old School Kingfish Shootout, and you can catch it live on the Action News Jacks Now stream and the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. It's on Saturday, 2 o'clock, and it'll replay on Sunday on the Action News Jacks app and actionnewsjacks.com.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out GWOutdoorLiving.com for your free estimate.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martineaus get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then here's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Welcome back here, noon hour on the Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Got some fun stuff coming up a week from today. We're going to have the Jacksonville Armada on our network at 7 o'clock. The show starts at, game starts at 6:30. Our coverage starts at 6:30. Match starts at 7. And then on Saturday, it's an afternoon match. Again, this is next week, so this is the 7th and 8th. So we have Friday, Saturday coverage of the Armada on the stream. And you can find it, of course, at actionnewsjacks.com, Action News Jacks app. And you can see it from your living room on Apple TV and Google TV and all the places. Just download the Action News Jacks Now app. So this isn't just a mobile thing. You can do it wherever you stream any kind of television. And we're also going to air the Kingfish shootout, the old school Kingfish shootout coming up next Saturday. That part will be on the Action News Jacks Now stream, which you can get on actionnewsjacks.com and the Action News Jacks app. So we're going to have a bunch of live events going on, which we're really excited about. So we continue to grow this thing and look forward to those couple of days. Along with more content today, we'll have Cup Date 1 o'clock, 1:30 a week with Action Sports Jacks. If you missed it the last couple of days, we replay it. And then at 2 o'clock, we'll replay Committed to the Uncommitted that we did from Nimnick Buick GMC yesterday. And what a nice young man Jordan Matthews is. And congratulations to him. $2,500 scholarship winner of our Committed to the Uncommitted program. And if you got any high school seniors that are going to play football and under-recruited, start thinking about it. And we'll take some nominees later this summer and heading into the fall so we can highlight the kids. And it is a $2,500 scholarship program. Thanks to Nimnick Buick GMC. So don't miss out on that, coaches and parents and teammates and friends. Just send them our way and my way specifically, and we'll try to highlight as many as we can and have one big winner. Jordan Matthews, a heck of a recipient. He's headed to the Army, by the way.
Nice.
So we didn't. We went off the trail a little. This isn't necessarily a guy he could have played at the next level, but chose to go to the Army instead for family purposes and. We wish him the best of luck as he'll be on his way later the month of June. Cool. Brent Martineau Austen Lane, fun show here on a Friday so far. Baseball and softball really heating up. This is a fun time like that in the NCAAs. In fact, FSU in Tallahassee is a top 8 regional seed, which is important because if you're in the top 8, you host the super regional too if you get by. And obviously your regional potentially is a little better than some others. And they've got Alabama, UCF, certainly capable teams. Stetson, who won the A-Sun, they're all in the Tallahassee Regional. FSU starting first pitch probably moments ago, in fact. playing against Stetson. Florida, who just snuck in the tournament, will be in the Oklahoma State Regional. And they will play Nebraska out of the Big Ten. And who else is in that regional? So it's Oklahoma State, Nebraska, Niagara out of the MAC. So we'll see what both Florida and Florida State do. Can they make some noise? Florida really was on the outside looking in. But now I have a feeling that Florida is going to do something in this tournament now that they got in. Florida State certainly capable to try to get back to Omaha. They have a good team. Can their pitching hold up is probably the biggest question for them. And one more note on that side. What a night last night for the College Softball World Series in Oklahoma City as the Florida Gators beat Oklahoma State 1-0 in a really good game. Terrific catch out in center. And then Katie Kistler out of Oak Leaf High School, the only run of the game. It was a home run. What a swing it was to right field. So they'll play again tomorrow. I lied. One more shout out. St. John's River. They'll play tonight at the Junior College World Series. And they avoid elimination last night with an 8-7 win. And so if they win tonight, they'll play for a national championship this weekend, a week after the softball team at St. John's River won a national championship. So life is good in Palatka these days when it comes to St. John's River baseball and softball. I used to do noontime news. I feel like I just did it.
Nick in the noontime.
Nick in the noontime probably should have delivered.
Come on, man. That was your moment.
All right. Well, never mind. I guess it's Nick in the daytime then. No Nick in the noon. I can't get it now.
And he concedes.
Hey, actually, you say you're not a baseball guy, but like your Vols program is really good.
Yeah. They've been pretty solid for a couple of years now.
But they are the
unanimous number 1 seed.
They are the number 1 seed and also the number 1 team to not like if you're not a Vol.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're
a
like
lot of hate, huh?
Yeah, they're like think of has Milwaukee had a player like this? Your Brewers where you loved them, but everybody else didn't like him. Like for me, it comes to mind Kevin Youkilis, right? When he played for the Red Sox in those kind of years, he like drove people crazy.
I got you.
But you loved him, right? And so, and by the way, that happens in youth sports and other sports too. Like you got a kid on your team, it's like great on our team, but I hate playing against them.
Gotcha.
Well, Tennessee has that, and mostly because of their coach. Their coach just kind of delivers an aura of what I would say is your typical baseball guy, who is how I label baseball players sometimes, who think they are a bigger deal than they are, tougher than they are, and their guy in Tennessee comes across that way. But if he's built a hell of a program now. They got a number 1 team, but I just think from the outside looking in, that dude is one that you can't stand when he beats you or wins. And I think so many people are rooting against Tennessee because of that in baseball if you're following the NCAA tournament.
I agree.
But I'm trying to think of Milwaukee like Craig Counsell's too nice of a guy when he played there, right? I mean, he's not that guy.
We hate him now.
Now you hate him.
And then we saw, listen, Craig Counsell, not having so much fun now, Craig, are we in Chicago? Being the highest paid manager and everything. Craig Counsell with the mediocre bullpens like Brent Martineau trying to talk about Marvel. What? Thor? What? What button am I going to push? The wrong one.
What were the Jaguars doing with that schedule release? By the way, Tony Vitello is your coach in Knoxville there.
His coach, like he's playing for him, too. Here we go again with the Hamby stuff.
That's my coach. What you mean? My coach, my team.
But Milwaukee doesn't have that guy.
Nah. We're just, we have fun. We're very likable, Brent.
Did I just land? You kind of are, right? Like there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Did I just land on something here? Give me teams that you love the guy if you're a fan, but you hate the guy. Rodman,
Jaguars, do we?
Do we?
Yeah. I think Steelers fans feel a certain type of way about him. Honestly. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But like Dennis Rodman, is he like the epitome of that guy? Or did you like him even if you weren't a Bulls fan?
A Bulls fan. I was a Bulls fan, so it's hard for me to say. It's an interesting thing. I think Jeter had some of that.
That's interesting. I think you're probably right, but I think we also come back to the realization, and I do this even as a Red Sox guy that couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
But how do you not respect and like Jeter? I mean, he's he does nothing wrong.
Yeah.
He's not a jerk. Like, he doesn't say anything. He's not that guy.
But no, I know, but like I think like when you are, for instance, it's a Tim Tebow effect. When you're a clean cut,
Hey, almost too clean.
yeah, and you can get you get all these women and everything, like people got a problem with it. I'm not saying Tebow got women, I'm saying Derek Jeter. Going back to the Derek Jeter comparison. Sorry, Tim. Going back to the Derek Jeter comparison, I think that was his
That's
issue.
interesting. Yeah. Too.
He's got it all.
More jealousy than antagonist.
Correct. But it goes hand in hand.
Okay, I'll give you a guy like back in the day that, and maybe he's on this list or not, but maybe even the Braves fans didn't love him. John Rocker during his high time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I'm talking before all the stuff even. But he was kind of like,
intense.
It's that guy that comes out of the pen. And, I mean, I'll give you, is Bryce Harper that way?
He definitely has some of that for sure. Yep. I'll
give you one. Another one. Draymond Green.
You're on a roll. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, does anybody that's not a Warriors fan like Draymond Green?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good call, man. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Man, you're rifling these. I got nothing. Nick in the daytime, please help me out. I got nothing.
We're in the same boat.
Let's
because like yours is based off of solely the personality and how they play the game,
and that's it. That's part of it. Like, because like if you go back to those Red Sox days where like Youkilis, first of all, there are half the people that had never even heard of Kevin Youkilis, right? Mm-hmm. But in the Yankees rivalry or in like you hated the guy because he actually kind of represented the dirty dog style of the Red Sox in those days. Mm-hmm. Heck, we might have interviewed a guy the other day like this, Papelbon. I mean, if he's on your team, you liked him. If he's not, you didn't like him.
Yeah.
There's something about that stare down, right? Yeah. There's something about, like, I don't like this guy. Some of that comes across as perception, by the way. I think the NFL game would be more fun to go at here. I don't even know if the people on his team always liked, like, a guy like Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah.
Because of his style of play. I don't even know if he's a big enough name.
See, that's the thing. I don't think he's that big of. I mean,
give me a quarterback right now that, or over the last decade or whatever, that people didn't like.
Yeah,
but they did. If you're on,
I mean, I think Johnny Football.
Yeah, Manziel's a good one here.
Yeah,
Manziel's a great one in the college landscape.
But I think also,
but even
Browns.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
No, Manziel's great there.
Yep. I mean, once again, this is very niche, but hockey. Brad Marchand.
No, I actually think hockey probably has a lot of these guys because of the enforcer, the style of play.
So there's a guy by the name of Brad Marchand.
For the Bruins.
Yeah. Like because he's done some like crazy things. Think he licked somebody sometime or something like that. Yeah. Who's a dude from NASCAR I just made fun of? Kyle Busch, right?
Yeah, but he's not really on a team. Like either like Kyle Busch or not. But you're right. Okay. I mean, if you don't like Kyle Busch, you don't like. He's a very polarizing guy.
Yeah.
There's got to be more of these guys in football.
And Ndamukong Suh.
Suh's a good one. Dirty player, labeled dirty player. But
Lions loved him.
But and you say
I said the most misunderstood player of all time.
He might be one of the most misunderstood guys. Yeah, which is pretty interesting.
Dude's going to be running a Fortune 500 company in no time.
So like Aaron Donald doesn't fit. I'll give you. How about Richard Sherman?
Yeah,
from Seattle.
It's a good one. That's a great one.
I think that cornerback, like, honestly, Jalen has this. Jalen, when he's on your team, you love him.
That's a good point.
Most everybody else outside, I'm not sure they love Jalen. Because here's another thing about football that you have to get around. You got to get around the guy that's helping you out in your fantasy world.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like X player because he scored 3 touchdowns for me in fantasy. Well, your defenders are not going to do that. Mm-hmm. So I think a guy like Jalen or the cornerbacks in general have a little bit of this.
I mean, do you think
Kelsey's
getting there, but it's because it's all Taylor Swift effect. Do you think Deshaun's? How do Cleveland Browns? I don't know. How do Browns fans feel about Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, I know a lot of Browns fans from being up there, and my view on the Browns is that they don't even love having Watson. They don't love the idea of it. Now, what I always say is, if this guy goes out and balls out this year and he returns to himself as a quarterback, I think there will be much more reason to put your arms around him as a Browns fan only. We're not rooting for that, I think, as football fans. But I think I think in Cleveland, they're rooting for that because at the end of the day, if that guy's helping us win, that guy's helping us win.
Yeah.
And then he would become that in that sense.
I Googled the most hated players in the NFL right now. Antonio Brown, he's not in the league.
But he was a little bit like this. So that Steelers team had a little bit of that in him.
Correct. Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers might be that guy, but I feel like there are more people, again, maybe this is fantasy football, that if you put him on, if he goes and throws 4 touchdowns for you, you don't care about his political views or anything else.
Yeah, I hear you.
But what I was saying is he's more polarizing. He's not like, you're going to find more people outside of New York. Heck, Green Bay fans alone are still going to love Aaron Rodgers, whether they admit it out loud or not.
So you know who's on this list? I mean, he's retired now, but I do remember playing against him, and I wasn't the biggest fan. Was Cam Newton? Like I respected Cam Newton, but like he always seems so extra to me sometimes.
Yeah. I think Dion used to be like this.
Yep.
Right.
People are saying Des Bryant.
I don't know. I don't have a strong feeling about this.
I'm sorry?
Terrell Owens?
That's a good one.
That might be.
That's a really good
one. Because the guy was so like, I mean, it's a Hall of Famer, but like the way that he acted. Yeah.
The receivers actually have a lot of, like, I think Chad Ochocinco, like I think here's a little bit of that with him too. Like if you're not in Cincinnati.
Back in his prime.
Yeah.
Odell.
Yeah, there's those receivers kind of come off that way. Mm-hmm. Though I would say, like right now, I don't think there's a lot of haters on Justin Jefferson or even a Devontae Adams or a DK Metcalf or some of the top receivers in the game. Even Tyreek Hill, for that matter. Like, he doesn't come that way.
No, he does. I mean, there's the off the field stuff with Tyreek Hill a little bit, but like I don't think people are going out of their way to. I think they respect him just for how good he is.
I think some of these guys, it comes down to who, like. I guess who you are personality-wise, but it's really more how you play. It's how you play is what kind of rubs people the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think Rodman. Now, Rodman had this kind of persona thing, but I think if you didn't like, and Draymond Green, same way. Like, two different guys, but the same way.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't like those guys because you know what? You don't want to play against those guys. You don't know if you're going to get hit in the you-know-what.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to get punched. The unexpected is scary, I think, for opposing teams and fans. Yet they're good enough to be dangerous to you. Like, you're not going to find too many guys in this kind of category that they don't think they can beat you.
See, yeah, and once again, like it's hard for me to comment on Rodman because like I was such a Rodman fan because I was a diehard Bulls fan, but like I think of like Rodman, who he was back in that era, and he was so different. And he was what we talked about the guy passing away. I can't think of his name. Bill Walton.
Oh, well, yeah.
We talked about like just like the unicorns. I mean, dude, in terms of like dyeing your hair green, having tattoos back when NBA players didn't really have tattoos. Like Rodman, I wonder if like Rodman was so different and lived life so differently where if people actually kind of liked it as opposed to like, oh, I hate playing against Rodman.
Yeah.
I hate when our team plays against Rodman. Like I wonder if there's like a mutual respect. They're just saying like, man, yeah, I get like he's a great defender and he's aggressive and can be a little dirty every once in a while, but like I respect it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it might be. But anyway, that's kind of how we landed on that from your Tennessee baseball coach, by the way.
Nicely done, Brent.
I bet there are more guys like this too. And I think I will say this. One thing about this category of player, it sometimes is just fan base to fan base. It's not necessarily this overarching thing. Like if you're a Braves and Mets fan, right? Mm-hmm. And you have that rivalry. Well, then what you think is that annoying player might be like, what are you talking about to us on the outside of that rivalry? And that's where I could speak on Youkilis because I think the Yankees fans felt that way about him. Mm-hmm. Hated losing to him, hated getting beat by him, just drove him nuts. And I think a little bit of the Youkilis stuff is like, is he really that good? Yet he keeps beating us or whatever, or delivers against us. Yeah. I mean, Pedro ended up being that way to Yankees fans too, but I don't think across the league he was like that because Pedro was so dang good that you enjoyed it.
True.
Exactly.
Pedro Martinez. You respected it.
You respected it.
Yep.
So it's a little different there. Hey, let's take a timeout. I just got something on the Stadium of the Future, which gives a little bit of a timeline. And the huddles continue to go. It was a really good crowd last night in one of the huddles. I noticed where are we at with the Stadium of the Future? A little bit of an update there. And still have some NBA slam poetry to get. And
I got to go to the Friday Fits for the FSU baseball team because I got to know what this was all about. So I'll at least do that, if not a couple more. Still to come here on the Brent Austen Show. Here on a Friday on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. A little update on the Stadium of the Future coming up next. It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability. Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part? They did it in one day. It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jax team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot, any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store, either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Beautiful day in Northeast Florida. You know, it's wild. Last night was like really nice once the sun went down, but it's hot, hot, hot. It's summertime, and it is steamy out there. But I do like the fact that once that sun goes down, it's pretty cool. Go get a walk in. I got a walk in yesterday.
How far did you walk?
UNF. I know. Let's take a look. Felt like it went a long time. Steph actually met me up here.
Here comes the flex. We got a flex alert going on. What do we got, Brent?
I haven't been looking at my step. I got 12,600 steps in yesterday.
Okay.
Man, this step app used to not like deliver so many ads to it.
Yeah.
Now we got ads all over the place. Every time I open this step app.
Way to cut the endorsement, Brent. Way to get a possible, advertising deal to go right down the drain.
Well, I'm just saying on that app particularly.
Yeah.
It has like 3 of them now in a row. But yeah, I got 12,000 in yesterday.
Before we get into what we're about to get into, can I ask you a question? Do you think, I don't think we've heard anything new on the Jaguars airplane trip.
No.
Do you think you're going to get brought in as like a key witness? Brent, think you're getting brought in as a key witness?
I don't think so. It's funny you're saying that. I didn't know, nobody from the Jags had said anything to me, but I was kind of like, I was just talking about it because we were talking about it, and I know I was there, but I also, it maybe would feel a little bit different if I actually saw something like, as I said a couple times this week.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, I wonder if somebody's going to say, hey, you can't say, like, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room type
Sure,
thing, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's not like I'm sitting here telling you.
Listen,
but I might get bro, maybe.
I mean, your name carries a lot of weight here, Brent. All right, people know you. All right, check the Twitter numbers. People know you. And I was just thinking, like, if you get brought in a testimony, you have to be ready. So, listen, I've been watching a lot of Law and Order lately, SVU, Special Victims Unit.
Still?
No, I'm kidding. Just trying to
Chicago PD.
Go with the bit, Brent. Chicago PD. I'm going to put you on the stand real quick. All right? And let's see how you respond here. Because your testimony is going to be huge in this whole thing, Brent. The Jaguars could be going to London if you don't, permanently. If you don't handle this well.
Easy.
Well, I'm just saying.
A new rumor?
Stakes, man. Read Twitter, everyone. So all right. So I'm like the lawyer right now. All right. So Mr. Martineau, were you on the flight? I don't know what date this was. Not very professional of me. But were you on the flight to London that is being in question right now with Brandon McManus?
Yes.
And when you were on said flight, is it true that you said that you don't remember what happened?
This is true.
Doesn't remember what happened. Sounds like somebody was smoking the reefer, smoking the devil's lettuce with Brandon McManus in the back if you can't remember. Brent, you just lost the case. Brent, the Jacksonville Jaguars just lost their lease, and now they're going to London forever. These are the things that you have to take into account, Brent.
So should I be lying on the stand?
Well, no, you can't say you don't remember. You say, I don't recall.
I don't recall.
Don't remember,
It's
Brent.
good practice.
Come on, I'm trying to help you out.
I was sleeping.
Literally with one question.
I had my headphones in.
With one question. We just lost the Jaguars.
I had plugged my nostrils. Couldn't smell anything.
I mean, dude.
I had my allergies. So that's a really good chance of that.
That's very true. I'm just saying, you better do your due diligence here, Brent. Okay? Because that one, literally, we were 1 minute in an exercise and we lost the team.
We lost the team.
Jaguars going to San Antonio because Brent lost it within a minute. That lawyer's going to grill. He's going to be like, oh, what's that? You don't remember? Okay. No further questions. Thanks, Your Honor.
That really would be so uncomfortable.
No, can you imagine us taking the cameras into Brent Martineau's questioning?
And by the way, I've been watching Suits a lot too, so I'm thinking like it'd be like a deposition.
Yeah.
Or I think that's what they call it, when that's where the lawyers get together first, like at a table. So you're not really like in a courtroom or on the stand, but they're recording. What you just did, basically. And so I think I would do well. The problem is, like, what do you want me to say? How do you want this to turn out? Because I feel like, in a way, I guess I'd be defending the Jags a little bit in my stance, but I'm also defending McManus because like I've told you all week, like I didn't see anything, like none of this stuff, like this party stuff, the marijuana stuff, the other stuff. Like there's nothing I caught.
Yeah.
And
say that. Say you don't remember. Don't say that. No, don't say that. Say I didn't see anything.
I didn't see it. I don't recall.
I don't recall. There you go, Brent.
Played the fifth.
I'm trying to help this whole city out here, Brent.
Speaking of the city, real quick, before we get to a one heck of a music video drop, you
gonna pull Jack Nicholson?
Brent was sipping champagne first class with the team, and shrimp cocktail,
lobster bisque.
Lobster bisque.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I should say. I was like, I don't know. I was in first class. That's what. That would be good. That'd be lying, but that'd be good.
Yeah, you'd be under oath, and that'd be an issue in its own self. But
the Stadium of the Future update, I got this email. And of course, I've been doing these huddles. And so if everybody's wondering kind of where this is at, I was like, this piqued my interest. It said this month, the city of Jacksonville, the Jags introduced a joint stadium renovation framework that protects the taxpayers. Now, obviously, they're spending this a little bit, benefits the entire community, secures the Jags' presence in Jacksonville for the next 30 years. So here are the proposed next steps of the process. This is what's interesting to me, which I think we know a little bit, but I don't know if we're really, I think we're saying it sometimes and not really presenting it. So here's what's coming up on the stadium. June 25th, which is a few weeks away, potential city council vote on legislation. So they're trying to get it done by that 25th, which we first reported when they presented it to city council. October 2024, NFL owners' approval, 75% needed. By that time, if they get to that stage, they really feel comfortable that it will be approved. That will take place in Atlanta during London Week. February 2025, construction begins. So immediately following this next season, construction is going to start. What that will look like is fascinating to me because I don't think it's going to be like this demolition.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of underneath stuff that we can't see. Almost, I would call invisible construction. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but that's my interpretation of it. In the 2025 Jaguars season, Jags play in Jacksonville with 60,000 plus capacity. So same as this year.
Yep.
2026 season, Jags play in Jacksonville with a reduced capacity, approximately 43,000. And then in 2027, Jaguars play one season away from Jacksonville. Stadium of the Future opens in 2028. They have not updated whether it's Orlando or Gainesville. We know it's Orlando or Gainesville. Just an update on that if you didn't catch my interview with Mark Lamping a couple weeks back, which you can actually see on Action News Jax this weekend on CBS 47. That decision won't be made until they get approval on where they're going to play because they're like, why are we discussing this if we're not going to get approved for the stadium?
True. Yeah,
There, believe me, there are conversations, there's legwork being done, but they're not going to really get to that stage of it until it's time to get to that stage of it.
Okay.
So anyway, that's the update. It's not really like, this wasn't breaking news. I just thought it was interesting. I got this on the heels of the huddles that they've been having, some of the feedback they've been getting. There's been like this part, which take it how you want because I think the polls are interesting. New University of North Florida poll found that the majority of the public supports the stadium renovation deal as long as it includes the community benefits agreement, which is the largest in NFL history. So you got to benefit the community along with obviously getting the stadium renovation. That's according to the new poll out at UNF, which came out actually earlier this week. We covered it with Action News Jax. You can find it on actionnewsjax.com. Okay, that's the latest. Meanwhile, we got some music playing in our ears a little bit, which means I think we're getting to this, explain this.
Man.
Diss track. Not Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. So, Darren Waller, a tight end, formerly of the time it would have been of the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
goes to the Giants, and kind of had a storied career, right? Had an addiction problem, had to leave the NFL, got straight, comes back and dominates and becomes
Had a huge year.
Yeah, becomes a top 5 tight end when he's with the Raiders and everything. Goes to New York, has a little bit of a down season last year with some injuries and whatnot, but there's the whatnot, Brent.
There it is.
There it is, one time. All right. And is also married to, now recently divorced to a girl by the name of Kelsey Plum, who before Caitlin Clark was the all-time women's NCAA basketball scorer.
Yeah.
Plays in Las Vegas for Las Vegas Aces. They had a falling out, whatever the case. She kind of put out a statement. We haven't really heard from Darren Waller what happened, but her side basically is that she tried to make it work. She tried to get through, but there's only so much somebody can take, and they chose to get a divorce. End of story. Okay? That's it. Okay, there's no kids involved or anything. Just two people going their separate ways. Divorce rates at an all-time high. Okay, we get it. It is what it is. Still the question of, where's Darren Waller? Is he going to play this season? All this stuff. Well, then Darren Waller comes out of nowhere and releases a song. Antonio Brown style, if you will, right? Putting on a rap track. Now, it's one thing if players want to get into the music industry and release a track. It's not the first time. But in this music video, he essentially has an actress playing his ex-wife. And we won't show the whole video, but in the end, that actress proceeds to stab Darren Waller in the back, and Darren Waller lays down by the ocean, and essentially I think he just dies in the video. We have a little bit, I think, of the songs, just so we can get a good... I'm sure people have already seen this, but because this was everywhere yesterday. But we have a little bit of the audio of Darren Waller's first track. Not mad at the beat.
Life, it's hard to love.
Don't like the
It's hard
auto-tune,
to be
Brett.
free.
Well, I'm just being...
It's hard
too
to give
much.
all of your soul and have your heart broken in return, but it's time. Take your time ahead. Just take a time out and feel the nights we opened up and we knew how much that you and I were real.
I'm good where you are, Brett.
I'm going to make one of these for not finishing our playoff game in baseball.
So I think we're all set. Nick, I think we're good. I can't handle much more, man. Yeah, I mean, it's like Post Malone gone bad.
It's I feel like they could have made one of those at a roller skating rink in 7th or 8th grade.
Here's where my brain's going, Brent, right? And now keep in mind, I've done the research. Divorce rates at an all-time high. Am I wrong there, Brent?
I assume you're right. I haven't looked.
They absolutely are, right? So me and my friends actually broke this down last night, and we might get into a little business venture. Hamby is a musical artist, correct?
Yeah, he is.
And he can play a lot of instruments.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick, in the daytime, you're a producer, right? So you can push buttons.
A couple buttons.
All right, so here's what... Brent, come with me now, because I need somebody to fund this, and this is where you come in.
Okay, that's on the bankroll.
So someone's got to fund this. All right, it's going to be Divorce Disses LLC, and here's what we're going to do for you. For a minimum fee, $200, $300, $400, you're going to send me who you're getting divorced with, okay? This could be a male or a female sending it in. And you're going to send in the information, give me some things to use, like, they were a bad cook. They were always out too late. They cheated on me. Whatever the case may be, okay? Give me the information. We're going to take that data, and I'm going to compile that into a diss track for you, and then we're going to have a video crew. Brent, this is where you come in once again, and we're going to record a diss song. So here's what's going to happen. You put out the diss song, whether, once again, this could be male, female. We do it all, right?
We do it all.
We're an equal opportunity employer, so it could be male, female. We put out the diss song. Now, trust me, I planned this already in advance. More than likely, 99% out of 100%, that person then is going to get dissed and want to go what? Probably go on Facebook, probably go on Instagram and say like, I can't believe he or she would do this. I thought we were over. Like, what are we doing? And guess what, Brent? This is where the Kendrick Lamar philosophy comes into play. We have 2 more diss tracks on top of the first diss track. So you're getting 3. Fair, pop it up. I don't care. So we're getting, what a perfect time. Divorce lawyer. Let's go. So we're getting 3 diss tracks. You're getting 3 diss tracks for the price of 1. We released the first one. Wait for the response because they're going to respond. It's 2024. They respond. I can't believe he would do this. I thought we're all past this. I never in a million years would thought he would. And then boom, back-to-back diss tracks once again. So you got 3 total diss tracks for your divorce.
By the way, I like where you're going with this. This is a huge hit. We're going to kill this.
Exactly.
But not only that,
yep,
we're going to have a side business. It's actually owned by the same business. And now we represent the other person who wants to come back. We represent Drake's side.
Brent just throws the Drake side.
Point.
Brent's paying attention, man. Brent knows where we're going with this. I love it. I think
so
we got
now
something
we just turned one diss track into about 5.
I mean, dude, I've been doing slam poetry during this show for how long? For free. You give me some money and some ammo? Oh, Brent.
This could be good.
Bangers.
Just saying. This would work. You think
divorce? This is LLC. Let's go.
You see what happens in those neighborhood reports.
Of course.
Can you imagine throwing this out there?
And Brent, we can do it all. We have Hamby at our disposal. We can go country. We can go hip hop. We can go pop. We can go everything, man. Jazz, if you want some jazz in there.
By the way, if it sounds anything like Waller's video, we can just use AI. I mean, our Shock Your Mock stuff was
That's
bad.
the thing. Like, if Darren Waller's doing, hey, Brent, we can do a little bit. Now, the video quality was good. Like, good production value. But the lyrics, the song quality, come on, Brent. We got to beat.
We got Marcel, video quality.
Divorce Disses LLC. Mark it down right now. Hey, Mr. Mark Cuban. Hello, Sharks. I'm presenting you guys with divorcedisses.com, asking for 10%, which is about a $2 billion company.
Evaluation.
Yeah.
Evaluation.
Evaluation. Mark Cuban's going to be like, you valued your company at $2 billion? I'll be like, yeah.
We did.
Yeah, it speaks for itself, man. People are getting divorced every single day.
Can somebody look up and see if this is already out there?
There's no way. There's no way divorce disses is a thing. But can you imagine, like, this is the beauty of it. And this is, like, why I'm so excited for it. Because, like, imagine, like, you put out the first diss track, right? Like, imagine, like, Kelsey Plum, for instance. What is Kelsey Plum thinking
what's she doing?
Okay,
she's huddling. That's what she's doing.
No, I guarantee she's going to be like, put out a little statement. I saw the video. I just couldn't believe that Darren would ever do this. Like, it's kind of embarrassing, yada, yada. And then right under that comment, I hope he's okay. Exactly. I hope he's safe and he's sound. Right under that comment, you put boom, boom, back to back, 2 more diss tracks. Right under her comment.
Because you know.
Barrier.
You bury her.
Bury her.
I've never seen Austin so excited.
Because it's $1 million. It's printing money.
Yeah. If you get that excited about this project, we might be printing money too.
Well, there's golf, man. You know, I can only fake it for so long, Brent. But Charlie Hall, I might be a believer.
Yeah.
I might be a believer.
Yeah, start writing your future diss track.
I might be a believer.
Yep. Got some good lines coming in around cigarettes hanging out. Let's go time out on that note. We are crafting the website as we speak. There it is. Dissanddad.com.
Is that a thing or not?
It's a group venture, by the way. We're starting to GoFundMe for raising
it's
some
open,
funds.
Brent, you going to start funding this or what?
How much does it cost just to get the website? We lock that down? Nothing, right? That's nothing.
$10, right?
We should start it.
Let's do it.
What are we going to do with one?
Let's do it.
One of these.
Oh,
side hustle.
Yeah.
Which might become the main hustle.
We're just going to...
Sorry for the Action Sports Jags 24/7 network has been
local athletes in shambles because Brent Martineau and Austen Lane went into the divorce dissing business. I love it.
Well, we could probably make it part of the network. Let's have a whole show. It's TMZ-ish.
Oh, man. Do you think the Cox Media the higher ups were just like, yeah.
Well, if it works, it works. They'll come around on it, trust me.
Let's go.
We will, there's probably some like proprietary nature of them having this owning of the website now that we just brought it up.
That's a good point.
In front of these microphones.
Oh, yeah. See?
There we go.
That was my mistake.
Screwed it up.
Should have did this in the confines of a Starbucks or something, Brent, where we were away from the, home game right now.
Yeah, screwed it up. We'll be sued now for everything we make. We'll be back on the Brent Austen Show. Put a bow on the show. Plus, some diss track preparation and practice comes via the way of NBA slam poetry as we head to the finals. Coming up next on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martineaus get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza. Some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jax Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
People helping people is at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jax 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jax and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning. And mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
We all have our favorite spots in town to eat, drink, and have a good time. And once in a while, we try a new spot. This new spot will soon become your favorite spot. It's 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco. Where else can you get unicorn fish? It was really good. They have local fresh seafood. Try a terrific burger or a Jack's Hot Chicken sandwich. The ambiance is perfect for any occasion. The idea here is to have fun, have a good time. Whether you're chilling out on the couches, cozying up to the bar, having lunch or dinner, it's a throwback experience. 1937, when going out to dinner was like going to a party. They even have a photo booth. Who doesn't like a good photo booth? We recently brought the entire team out to try it, and everyone said, I'm bringing my significant other here to try it as well. The new spot becomes your favorite spot. Make 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco your new favorite spot.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
All right, got a little Friday fits for Florida State baseball.
What is going on?
What are we doing?
I haven't seen this yet. I mean, do we have any background? What's going on?
Jordan Williams. It says on his bag tag.
Okay,
there.
well, it looks like Rey Mysterio or some distant descendant of a Rey Mysterio.
I don't know if there's a story here.
Rocking the Lucha Libre.
Yeah. I can't find one about it. But anyway, it's an interesting Friday fit. I don't want to hammer. Maybe there's some significance to it.
I mean, I'm sure there's got to be, there has to be something.
Or is it just like a little inside baseball thing within the locker room?
I mean, I feel like baseball more than any other sport has those types of things.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Florida State baseball up 2-0. Daniel Cantu from Jacksonville area played at Creekside, hit a home run in the first inning against Stetson. So there's a little bit of an update to that.
What do you think Hamby would think about that whole get up right there? Well,
Yeah.
Coach Hamby.
Yeah, Coach Hamby probably wouldn't have liked that.
No.
Keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah.
So we will we'll see if there's any more of that going in. I don't see that in baseball. That's the thing. I don't know if everybody does. Everybody seems to do a Friday Fits thing now, walking in, and like we've seen it with the Iceman. I think I see the Shrimp do it now. It's like the NFL thing, the NBA thing, which is really all eyes on where these guys are walking in. I think has become a thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we were doing it in the first place, to start, because you kind of feel that, well, this is the first year, and maybe it's just because we're saying Friday Fits out loud, so now they show up on my algorithm, that I don't remember seeing this with college baseball guys, right?
Yeah.
But maybe that's become a new thing. And you're not going to see these crazy outfits. The kids don't have that kind of money to be going to spend on it.
It's a good point.
So maybe it's a different kind of get up, or maybe it's a dare, or maybe it's I lost a bet, or whatever it is, which could probably be pretty fun.
Sure.
Overall.
Did you have any, before we do slam poetry, do you have any baseball quirks or anything you would call them that you guys did?
No, I don't really remember anything like that. And I think this is such a new day and age where there's probably a lot of that stuff now.
Yeah.
That's being done, or just for fun. But no, I mean, everything that we did, I feel, was old school stuff from, we had Chad Lavender lighting people's cleats on fire in the dugout,
Okay.
that stuff.
Okay. Why?
I just light the shoelaces with it. Nobody even knows. He's just standing there, and your shoelaces all of a sudden
Smoky
are
a
on fire.
little bit, or okay.
Stuff like that. But those are old school things.
Okay. I mean, you do that in a football locker room. People are probably going to get beat up because
fighting,
of that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in baseball.
You baseball players, man.
All right. Well, we got a little NBA slam poetry heading into the finals.
All right. Yeah, I just finished it right there. So that's why I had to bring up a little more time while Brent was talking about burnt shoelaces.
Well, here you go. Disandat.com, by the way, is locking the domain name down. Charge a fee to the Action Sports Jax department to claim it, Elphonic.
Brent,
until I send you your gift for winning the Shock Your Mom.
Sugar Daddy Martineau's going to take care of us, everybody. So, yep, that's Brent's
right now,
thing.
I'll pay $5 for it.
All right. Do we have any music for this or not? Oh, that's the vibe button?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you show me? Yeah. Do we have the...
He threw his hands up in the air after that.
Oh, he got a little shook up about it?
He did.
Okay. My bad, man.
Nick
All right.
of the day.
Let's try to get started. How much time do we have?
We got about 4 minutes.
I think we
Surely
got
it's about 3.
Okay. We can put some more extra pressure on Nick here. Bottom of the 9th. Adamas steps up for the Brewers. We know how this is going to end. By the way, Brent, my Milwaukee Brewers getting 3 out of 4 of the Chicago Cubs.
Your Milwaukee Brewers are...
I mean, I had to wear the shirt.
They're swinging it well.
Not bad. Not bad. I'm happy with it.
Didn't expect this out of this lineup.
Heck no. Not at all. No. All right. Well, let's get started regardless. All right.
We'll play the music in the middle of it.
Yeah, Nick, if you find it, man. If not, no worries,
Get a vibe.
man.
Get that vibe button ready.
Yeah. It's Friday. It is what it is. All right. NBA slam poetry. 2 teams left. Who wants the crown? It's time to start talking what an elite player can do for you. Not talking about Tatum. I'm talking about conference MVP Jaylen Brown.
I knew it.
What can Brown do for you? Yep. Halliburton remaining out causes Boston to choose violence. When it comes to calling game-changing timeouts, much like the S in his name, Rick Carlisle remained silent.
Very good.
Like that one?
Yeah, I did like that. That was good. I knew you were going with that, too. I like it. Illinois.
Oh, here we go. Here we come. Illinois. Exactly, Brett. Bronny turning down workouts, acting like he's going first. Dude averaged 5 points. Drafting would be like downing a salt shaker just to quench your thirst. I wouldn't do that.
That's gross. Yeah.
Gross. Timberwolves got bounced out. Why show up? Why did they even bother? In the case of Anthony Edwards, Michael Jordan, you are not the father. Stop with the comparisons. Just stop. All right. Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year. We all ravaged and raved. Hey, Gobert, after that series, that belongs to you as much as Hamby belongs to the Atlanta Braves. You don't play for them.
Stop saying we.
You don't play for them. Wolves are the team of the future, but currently they win splat. Hey, Kyrie Irving, you keep dropping 30 points, the world's going to be yours, even if it's flat. Maybe he's onto something, Brent. The guy's playing at a high level. All right.
Stop talking about it, then start to play at a high level.
Last one here. Mavs, Celtics for the title. This series isn't going to miss. No need to donate to political leaders. Please give your money to Divorce This. Now it's something to GoFundMe.
That's a late game ad right
there. This whole thing was a late game ad.
Thisandthat.com. Here we go.
There we go.
Charge me, Delphonic. Charge me. Hey, hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Good stuff with NBA Slam Poetry. Nick in the daytime, Nick at noon. Nick doesn't like it. Nickel, Nicholas.
Nick doesn't like it. Might have to be the new one.
Thanks for hanging with us. We're back at it next week. We're all over the place next week. 1937 Spirits and Eatery on Monday. Furniture Source in the Avenues Mall on Tuesday. And then we'll give you the rest of the lineup. Coming up next, Cup Date, a week with Action Sports Jackson at 2 o'clock. An encore of Committed to the Uncommitted. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.